What up, Pumpkin? How you doing? How you been? We missed you last week. How'd you like editing the show?
Me?
Yeah, you.
It was a good edit. I congratulate you guys. It was really nice. It was a nice listen as well. I really enjoyed listening to you guys have a good chat about PvP. I miss talking to you guys.
No, hold on. Wait, this doesn't sound right. Who are you, and what have you done with our actual Nitedemon?
That'd be the one, yeah. What do you mean?
It's Houndish.
It might be.
Replace our Nitedemon with a Houndish.
Because this guy is way too nice to be Nitedemon. He said not only was it a good edit, but he enjoyed listening to it as well. No, this doesn't sound right at all. Blink if you're being held hostage.
No, I mean, it was a good edit. Like, honestly, I enjoyed listening to the two of you go back and forth because you both bring up good points and can argue, in a non-cursing, sensible way.
Yeah. Well, again, we're like I said before, we're used to it. That's what we do all the time.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So now we just stuck microphones in front of you and the magic happened. Poof. All I know is I was just sitting here the entire time just thinking.
But I'm the one that's going to abuse it, right?
Yep, apparently so.
Oh, goodness.
I'll lose interest quickly. Don't worry. The fact that you can upload your
own.
No,
I think it's an absolute treat. Show, right? Because not only can we get what Nitedemon puts in post edit, we can have some stuff live too. I like it.
I'm just happy that when Respawn starts into a story, I have a button I can press now.
The crickets. Oh, I thought you were going to push the crickets.
No, the catch alarm.
The what alarm?
This is amazing.
Bro, did you find a soundboard for Shaxx already? Not Shaxx.
There is one.
I have had for years. Someone put together a massive list of Destiny MP3s back. I don't even know. Apparently, I downloaded these in March of 2020, so at least somewhere around there. And I have an entire
Discord. Oh my lord!
Well, I've been uploading a couple of them as I find the ones I need. So,
someone all of 30 seconds to do that.
Yeah, no, because I was like, I have an entire folder of Destiny MP3s that I downloaded at some point, and just looking for the time to use them. I feel like Cheats Forever maybe put them together at some point. I feel like him talking about just grabbing a bunch of audio and putting it together as clips or something, or he linked to it at least. Yeah, I don't know. They came from somewhere, and now I have them, and now I can use them. So the world's a beautiful place.
I already uploaded them.
I think I'd better start off the show by apologising in advance if you did hear various different sound effects that I have not inputted myself. These guys now have access to their own soundboards.
Do we need Nitedemon disclaimers before every sound effect? Now, this one is mine. This one is Peroty's.
I just don't know if it's going to come through on the recording, so I'm apologising ahead of time.
Oh, it's absolutely coming through. If we can hear it, so can the bears.
I'm not happy about this.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Nitedemon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
So, welcome to the show. I am Nitedemon. I am back from being sick. I do apologise about my voice because I'm still coughing and it's a little bit croaky. And I'm joined by my two, fire team members, I guess.
There you go.
Respawn and Peroty.
So
the inmates that run the asylum while he's gone.
Exactly. Well, no, that's Micah. Micah runs you two, I guess.
Really? You think he keeps us on track when you're gone?
I think he did. He kept you on track. There wasn't too many squirrel stories last week.
Fair enough.
We've got lots to talk about this week, haven't we?
No. And we've already started, yeah. Oh, you mean about Destiny? Oh, yes.
Yeah, Destiny.
Yes.
Destiny
about
stuff.
that too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Destiny stuff.
Indeed.
And should we kick it off with what's happening this week in Destiny?
Only if you put it right here.
Okay. No, put it over there.
Hello and welcome to the 9th week of Season 20, Season of Defiance, starting on April 25th, 2023. So for week 9, let's have a look at our legacy rotation, starting with the Forsaken expansion.
Ready if you are. Let's see what's out there.
The Dreaming City this week is at a medium curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Devilian Mists, and has the Oracle Engine mission for the next week. The Blindwell features Hive enemies and the Plague Krieger. The Ascendant challenge this week will be the Shattered Ruins, which can be located over in the Spine of Keris on the Dreaming City. Next up, the Shadowkeep expansion. On the Moon, the weekly mission is a Mysterious Disturbance. The Trove Guardian is located in the Anchor of Light, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Jax, Claws of Zivrorath at the Hellmouth. And the Nightmare hunts this week will be Skolas, Pride, Omnigul, Anguish, and Zydron, Servitude. For our Beyond Light expansion, on Europa this week, Phylax the Warrior will be the Empire Hunt, Assyrian's Abyss will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Agility. For the 30th anniversary expansion, we have the loot rotation for Days of Eternity, which will be on week 1's rotation, with the Scatterhorn armor set and the Wild Hunt armor set being available. The weapons available this week will be the Arc Lightweight Frame Bow Arsenic Bite 4B, the Arc Adaptive Frame Heavy Grenade Launcher Blast Batu, the Solar Precision Frame Linear Fusion Rifle Corsair's Wrath, the Void Waveframe Energy Grenade Launcher Deafening Whisper, the Kinetic Adaptive Frame Hand Cannon Dire Promise, the Kinetic Precision Frame Sidearm Enigma's Draw, the Kinetic Lightweight Frame Submachine Gun Escape Velocity, the Arc Adaptive Frame Pulse Rifle Giant 7 Rifle, the Kinetic Precision Frame Submachine Gun Friction Fire, the Void Precision Frame Scout Rifle Royal Chase, the Kinetic Aggressive Frame Hand Cannon True Prophecy, and the Solar Adaptive Frame Fusion Rifle Timelines Vertex. For the Witch Queen expansion, the Witch Queen weekly story mission is the Ghosts, where the modifiers are Fire Pit and Raider Shields, as well as Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Also this week you will have Altars of Reflection Catalysts and Altars of Reflection Pact. The Wellspring activity has been updated to include a featured Throne World weapon, Veritas Armour, and a weapon pattern as its rewards. For the Lightfall expansion, the weekly mission is Desperate Measures, with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions, Solar Threat, Empath, Overcharged Weapons, Solar and Strand Surges, Overcharged Glaives, and Galvanized on Hero difficulty only. The Partition mission will be Ordnance, Overload and Unstoppable Champions, Solar Threat, Scorched Earth and Empath, with Solar and Strand Surges. And the Vex incursion this week will be Amish Park. In addition, the weekly Lightfall reset also refreshes the pinnacle drop for the Node Override Avalon exotic mission on the EDZ. Raids and Dungeons. The Root of Nightmares raid challenge this week is the first encounter, Cataclysm, called Illuminated Torment. This is where every Tormentor must be killed by a player with the Field of Light buff. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the second encounter, War Priest, called Devious Thievery. Players must steal the brand of the Initiate within a couple of seconds of taking the brand claimer's buff. The Vow of the Disciple challenge this week is the second encounter, the Caretaker, called Base Information, where runners cannot pick up more than one stack of knowledge on each run. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the third encounter, Templar, called Out of Its Way, where you must keep the Templar from teleporting. The Garden of Salvation challenge this week is the second encounter, Spy Defense, called A Link to the Chain. This is where all Guardians must receive the Enlighten buff at the same time. And the Last Wish challenge this week is the second encounter, Shirochi, called Witch Witch. Guardians must not get hit or take damage from Shirochi's Arc Blast. Your pinnacle raid will be the Deepstone Crypt on Europa, which means all challenges will be available for each encounter. These are the first encounter, Crypt Security, called Red Rover. This is where all Guardians must be an operator and shoot the 2 panels on the lower level. The second encounter, Atrax 1, called Copies of Copies, where you must not send any Atrax 1 replicant debuffs into the airlock/space. The third encounter, Tanix Part 1, called Of All Trades. Guardians must perform each role at least once, Operator, Scanner and Suppressor. And the fourth encounter, Taniks, called the Core 4. Guardians must dunk all 4 cores before each DPS phase. Also, with the Deepstone Crypt being the featured raid, this does mean that you can farm the final boss for a chance at the exotic rocket launcher, Eyes of Tomorrow. And the pinnacle dungeon for this week will be the Shattered Throne over on the Dreaming City. Next up, challenges. So for week 9 we have Legendary Defiance. Complete 2 Defiant Battlegrounds on Legend difficulty for Challenge XP++. Favoured Warrior. Earn 20 Favours of Justice, 20 Grace, and 20 Zeal during Season of Defiance activities. Bonus progress awarded for favours earned during activities on Legend difficulty for Challenge XP+. Defiant Specialist. Defeat 50 combatants with precision final blows in seasonal activities. Bonus progress awarded for using Seasonal Defiance weapons. These are Perpetualus, Prodigal Return, Regent, Caretaker, Racketeur, and Royal Executioner for Challenge XP+. Pinnacle. Reach power level 1810 by earning Pinnacle rewards for Challenge XP+++ and Bright Dust. Warp and Weft. In Gambit, defeat targets with Strand, Solar, or Void subclass equipped. Bonus progress is awarded for ability final blows and defeating Guardians for Challenge XP++ and Bright Dust. Weaving Sunlight. Defeat combatants in Vanguard playlists with a Strand, Solar, or Void subclass equipped. Bonus progress awarded for ability final blows for Challenge XP++ and Bright Dust. And Armor Wide Calibration. Calibrate 200 kinetic, 200 energy, and 200 power weapons. Bonus progress against champions for Challenge XP+++ and Bright Dust. And speaking of Bright Dust, we have our 9th ever verse of the season for the week of April 25th, 2023. Available this week for Bright Dust we have the Flamenco Dance Legendary Emote for 700 Bright Dust. Lee Calipretra Exotic Weapon Ornament for the Exotic Bow Le Monarch for 1250 Bright Dust. The Shadow Legion Entrant Legendary Transmat Effect for 450 Bright Dust. The Erebus Glance Legendary Shader for 300 Bright Dust. The Circadian Chill Legendary Shader for 300 Bright Dust. The Mandolin Sistance Legendary Emote for 700 Bright Dust. The Limitless Subversion Cask Ornament for the Hunters. The Cognate Beat Helm Ornament for the Titans. And the Technologic Hood Ornament for the Warlocks, each for 1200 Bright Dust. The Synth How Exotic Ship for 2000 Bright Dust. The Vice Cruiser Exotic Sparrow for 2500 Bright Dust. The Acolyte's Ambition Exotic Weapon Ornament for the Hunter Exotic Helm, the Wormhusk Crown. The Hif Plymouth Exotic Ornament for the Titan Exotic Helm, Laurely Splendor. And the Phoenix Resonance Exotic Ornament for the Warlock Exotic Helm, Dawn Chorus, each for 1200 Bright Dust. The Calefactor Exotic Weapon Ornament for the Exotic Sidearm, Forerunner, for 1250 Bright Dust. And finally the Eramis Projection Legendary Ghost Projection for 1500 Bright Dust.
Hello!
As a reminder, your daily lost sector will show you a flag outside which will give you details of threats, shields, champions and exotic armour you will find inside. But if you are new to the game or you're using an alternate character and can't find the flag outside, you will have to run through the lost sector normally to have it show up on your map as a legend/master, which you can either do solo or with a fireteam, but you will only be able to earn a chance at the exotic drop when completing solo. Tuesday, April 25th will be the Hydroponics Delta on Neptune for exotic chests, Void Threat, Solar and Strand Surges with no elemental shields, Overcharged Rocket Launchers with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Wednesday, April 26th will be the Gilded Preset on Neptune for exotic helmets, Arc Threat, Solar and Strand Surges with Void and Solar Elemental Shields, Overcharged Glaives with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Thursday, April 27th will be the Excavation Site 12 on the EDZ for exotic boots, Solar Threat, Solar and Strand Surges with Arc Elemental Shields, Overcharged Swords with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Friday, April 28th will be the Skydock 4 on the EDZ for exotic gauntlets, Solar Threat, Solar and Strand Surges with Void Elemental Shields, Overcharged Shotgun with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Saturday, April 29th will be the Quarry on the EDZ for exotic chests, Void Threat, Solar and Strand Surges with Void and Solar Elemental Shields, Overcharged Grenade Launcher with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Sunday, April 30th will be the Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City for exotic helmets, Stasis Threat, Solar and Strand Surges with Void Elemental Shields, Overcharged Shotgun with Unstoppable and Overload champions. And finally, background to Monday, May 1st will be the Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City for exotic boots, Solar Threat, Void and Strand Surges with Void and Solar Elemental shields, Overcharged Sword with Unstoppable and Overload champions.
Lead the way.
Grandmaster Nightfalls have returned, which means if you already have your Conquest Seal, you will be able to select whichever Grandmaster Nightfall you want in any order to gild your title. And with that, our 9th featured Nightfall will see us face off against the Taken Hydra, Parthenos, in the Hypernet Current on Neptune, where you have a chance to get a Pinnacle Engram if you complete the Nightfall with a score of 200k or more. You'll be able to earn high-end gear for your characters, including the Nightfall featured weapon, exotic gear, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, and ascendant shards. The higher the Nightfall difficulty, the more common the drop will be, with the featured weapon and exotic gear being uncommon at hero difficulty to being common with ascendant shards in Grandmasters. Legend and lower Nightfalls will have 5 Overload and 6 Unstoppable, with 12 Solar, 5 Arc, and 28 Void shields. Masters and GMs will have 7 Overload and 9 Unstoppable, with 12 Solar, 6 Arc, and 32 Void shields. Your Nightfall modifiers are Hero difficulty, maximum effective level 1765, matchmaking is available, extra shields, champions foe, you'll face Overload and Unstoppable champions. You can either use intrinsic exotics, use a subclass debuff, or unlock anti-champion mods from the seasonal artifact. Arc elemental threat, 25% increase to arc incoming damage. Denial, Taken Vandals summon their shields significantly more often. Overcharged weapons, weapons overcharged from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity. Kinetic weapons do increase damage when your subclass element matches an active surge. Solar Surge, 25% bonus to outgoing solar damage. Strand Surge, 25% bonus to outgoing strand damage. Overcharged Grenade Launcher, 25% bonus damage. Galvanized, combatants have more health and are more difficult to stun. Legend, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. No matchmaking. Equipment locked, you will be unable to change your equipment once this mission starts. Master, maximum effective level 1820, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. Champions Mob, this difficulty adds more champion enemies. Famine, all ammunition drops are significantly reduced. Grandmaster, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized and Famine. Join in progress is disabled. Extinguish, if your fire team falls in a restricted zone, your team is returned to orbit. Limited revives, gain additional revives by defeating champions. Contest mode, which caps your power level to make enemies more of a challenge. Epitaph, taken combatants generate blight geysers when defeated. And Chafe, radar is disabled. Your choice of intrinsic anti-champion artifact mods are Unstoppable Scout Rifle, Overload Bow, Overload Submachine Gun and Auto Rifle, and Medieval Champion, where glaives fire projectiles that stun Unstoppable champions, swords stun Overload champions on consecutive hits. You also have exotic weapons and armor that can help with intrinsic mods as well. For Unstoppable, the Kinetic Fusion Rifle Bastion, the Kinetic Hand Cannon Malfeasance, the Solar Energy Sidearm Devil's Ruin, the Void Heavy Bow Leviathan's Breath, and the Hunter Gauntlets Athos' Embrace, which have a chance to stun Unstoppable champions with their empowered weighted knife. And for Overload, the Void Energy Bow Le Monarch, the Arc Energy Linear Trace Rifle Divinity, the Arc Heavy Machine Gun Thunderlord, and the Warlock Exotic Boots the Secant Filaments, which when you drop an Empowering Rift, any weapon that is fired from inside the well can cause an Overload champion to be stunned. The Nightfall featured weapon to obtain this week will be the Arc Adaptive Frame Grenade Launcher, Wendigo GL3. The Wendigo GL3 has a base blast radius of 50, velocity of 29, and handling of 41. It can roll with Full Court, Explosive Light, and Frenzy, with Clown Cartridge, Chain Reaction, and Auto-Loading Holster. It has the origin trait of Stunning Recovery, where if you stun a champion, you partially refill the magazine, trigger health regen, and improves your recovery for a short duration. Vanguard Vindication, where final blows with this weapon grant a small amount of health. And Omlon Fluid Dynamics, where the weapon has increased reload speed and stability for the top half of the magazine. Next up, Lord Shaxx brings Mayhem to the featured Crucible playlist for the 9th week of the season. Mayhem is where 2 teams of 6 players go head to head in a clash type mode. Abilities and supers charge at an extremely faster rate than usual. Respawns are instant, and power ammo spawns are also much faster than usual. With a time limit of 10 minutes, the first team to get 125 eliminations is the winner. And Clash will also be returning this week in the Relentless Crucible playlist. Clash is a 6v6 PvP mode where level advantages are disabled. Points are gained through scoring kills against the opposing team as there are no capture points. Players are not penalised for low map control and can bunker down together or fan out as they see fit. Strength in numbers is paramount as a lone player can get picked off very quickly by a team shooting enemies. Heavy ammo can swing the balance of a match, so controlling the box can be the key to winning. Super usage both offensively and defensively is one way to break the deadlock.
Delightful!
And Valus Forge returns to the tower for the last time this season, bringing with him the Iron Banner Fortress. This is a week-long free-to-play Crucible event, which means that there will be no Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Power level is disabled, which means you can go into Iron Banner with whatever weapons and armour you like. Iron Banner also brings with it challenges and a seal to become an Iron Lord. Each day for 4 days for each character, from Tuesday Reset, Lord Saladin will give you the opportunity to receive a pinnacle reward. By hovering over the Iron Banner node on the director, it will tell you how many games you need to play and with what subclass you need to equip to complete it. You can either play each day and collect each pinnacle, or you can wait until Friday Reset to play all the games you need and receive all 4 pinnacles in one go. From 3 for your first pinnacle up to 18 games in total for all 4 pinnacles. As a reminder, pinnacle rewards will give you +5 to your power level if you're below the power cap of 1800, but if you're 1800 and trying to reach the pinnacle cap of 1810, then the pinnacles will give you +2 in light. Players can rank up with Lord Saladin to receive rewards from his reward track, and equipping any Iron Banner armour, ornament or weapon plus Iron Banner emblem will progress your progress faster in ranking up. This is multiplied if you complete the daily pinnacle challenges as well. For the Iron Banner gear boost requirements, all 5 pieces must be equipped as gear or ornaments for it to take effect. In Iron Banner Fortress, 2 teams of 6 are pitted against each other, with the objective to control 3 stationary objective points scattered around the arena, just like in a regular control match. However, these work a little differently. In Fortress, you earn points for each zone you hold onto at regular time intervals. If you have 1 zone, you get 2 points. 2 zones, you get 4. All 3 a power play, you get 6 points. Killing enemies does not count towards your points, keeping objectives does. So if you want to win the match, take and hold those zones. Conversely, it also doesn't matter how often you're getting killed if the enemy team isn't grabbing the zone from you. When a team reaches 40 points, a high value zone will spawn a countdown timer at a marked location somewhere on the map, and the other 3 zones will disappear. This is where Empress Keitel of the Cabal decides to intervene. When this happens, you should drop whatever you're doing and run to the capture point. But be careful, as a giant Cabal drop pod will hit the ground, opening to reveal yellow bar turrets called Esteemed Scorpius. You'll need to defeat these turrets to open the high value zone, which grants more points when your team controls it, which can really turn the tide of battle. After 45 seconds, the high value zone will despawn, and the 3 normal objectives will return. You will have 2 opportunities per match to capture the Cabal zone, one at 40 points and the other at 80. The game will then continue until the score reaches its max, or you hit 10 minutes time limit. With this being the last Iron Banner of Season of Defiance, this does mean that you have one more chance this season to become an Iron Lord. The triumphs to complete are Jolder's Victory, win matches in the Iron Banner playlist across all events and seasons. Ganora's Seal, acquire Iron Banner armor. Each piece must be unique to count towards the total. Ormond's Taste, acquire Iron Banner weapons. Each weapon must be unique to count towards the total. All-Wing Spirit, earn points by completing objectives in Iron Banner playlist modes. Frostmire's Will, complete Iron Banner challenges. Criminal's Dedication, reset Iron Banner rank twice. Jorum's Howl, complete Iron Banner matches whilst wearing at least 1 piece of Iron Banner armour, earn additional progress for each piece of Iron Banner armour equipped. And to gild the title this season, you have 5 triumphs to complete, which are Glorious Howl, win Iron Banner matches, earn additional progress for each piece of Iron Banner gear equipped. Again with Feeling, reset Iron Banner rank. On Point, earn points by completing objectives in Iron Banner playlist modes while using a Strand, Solar or Void subclass. One and Done, complete all 4 Iron Banner challenges in a single Iron Banner celebration. And Down Dear Friend, defeat 200 Guardians in the Iron Banner, earn bonus progress for using Iron Banner weapons from the current season. This will also be your last chance to grab the Wise and Rebuke Arc High Impact Frame Fusion Rifle, which can roll with Volt Shot, High Impact Reserves, and Backup Plan. with shot swap, under pressure, and heating up. It also has the origin trait of Skulking Wolf. And your last chance to grab the 900 RPM Void Adaptive Frame Submachine Gun, Hero's Burden, which can roll with dynamic sway reduction, destabilizing rounds, and kill clip, with under pressure, feeding frenzy, and Zen moment. This also has the origin trait of Skulking Wolf and Suro Synergy. The two returning Iron Banner weapons this season are the Bite of the Fox Aggressive Frame Sniper Rifle, which has a base impact of 90, range of 70, and aim assist of 41. It can roll with Vorpal, opening shot, and explosive payload, with no distractions, slick draw, and snapshot sights, and has the origin perk Skulking Wolf. While at low health, Guardian Final Blows with this weapon grant enhanced radar and remove you from the opposing radar. And the Durham's Claw Adaptive Frame Pulse Rifle, which has a base impact of 29, range of 49, and stability of 50. It can roll with Golden Tricorn, Frenzy, and Kill Clip, with Moving Target, Outlaw, and Gutshot Straight. It also has the origin perk of Skulking Wolf and Suro Synergy, where reloads grant this weapon a bonus to handling and reduces incoming flinch for a short time.
That is amazing.
But before you go, we just want to remind you that there will be double XP in the Vanguard playlist this week. So if you want to fast track in getting that new ritual weapon, the Eclectic Distaff Glaive, and Vanguard ornament, the Aegon Spindle, then this will be a good week to boost those ranks. And that's it for the 9th week of Season of Defiance. Now, back to the show.
Guardian down.
Excellent. Well, I'm excited.
You are, because you know why? Iron Banner Fortress is back.
That's not a reason to be excited.
It is, and
wait, which one's Fortress? Which one's
yes.
Fortress?
Turrets
and capital.
That's not fun.
Drop pods.
No, it's excitement because it's not eruption. So anything other than eruption, I'm happy about.
No, because not only do I got to worry about people killing me, I got to worry about drop pods too, bro. No.
Listen, it's we're at the midpoint of the season. If you haven't learned to avoid the drop pods by now, I can't help you.
Bro, this is Destiny 2. The drop pods have the highest kill rate than anything else in the game.
Nah, Threshers.
No, drop pods.
Absolutely drop pods, 100%. There's nothing that I would love to see. Look, I'm talking smack, but I would love to see that on paper. What kills more Guardians in the game than anything else? It's got to be drop pods, 100%.
The Architects, probably.
Damn Warlocks.
Yeah, let's face it, they are still the Architects.
Ever since I saw that, they're never not going to be now.
No.
Bungie let us slip that they're the Architects. You can't take it back. Once it's out there, it's out there.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But did you see that Bungie put out a Colorblind setting revamp this week?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was hoping our blind compatriot here would go through it with us and tell us all the good, juicy stuff about what they're doing to help with accessibility.
Absolutely. So, what they've done, in case you missed it, we shared a blog earlier this week diving into recent changes that we believe players with accessibility accommodations regarding colorblindness will particularly enjoy. From radical changes to special event tweaks, here's a TLDR of what we went over. Radical changes, all auto melee changes, toggle setting additions, subtle color choice, and a peek at what's new with commendations if you have any variation of color blindness. Read the full update with additional info from the teams responsible for these changes right here.
Are you going to click right there?
I did. Sure.
That's what I was talking about, not reading the bit in the 12 that told me about that. Let's go straight to the colorblind setting revamp and more accessibility changes. Because I thought this was something that you could talk quite passionately about because it affects you. I mean, we've heard so many rants.
It sure does, and it did for a long time when it broke. When it broke, it was so dumb.
Could you tell us about what they're doing and then how, as somebody with colorblindness, is affected and how this is going to help?
Okay, so settings glow up. Radical changes. In the Season of the Deep, we're adding an enemy-targeted reticle color setting that is designed to complement the current reticle color. Setting by allowing players to select the hue of their hipfire reticle that they see when aiming at an enemy. This change will be particularly helpful for those players with color blindness. The new color setting also applies to the headshot and hit indicator UI elements. Peek at the updated menu settings below. So, someone like me, I had the most obnoxious color you had. It was either the fluorescent pink, but for a while now it's been the fluorescent green. Because people like me, you want to find something that reticule is not going to blend into the background. And believe it or not, that reticule blends into a lot more than people think it does. You know, so just having the most obnoxious color, just so at least it sticks out, is what I've been aiming to do. And like I said, usually the bright green tends to stick out a lot more unless you're in a lot of heavy foliage. Then it does kind of disappear. You want to swap to the pink one or whatever. But then the pink one kind of fades into areas that are got a lot of red hues in the background too. So either way, there's just nothing that's perfect for, every situation, But what they've done is not only do they have your normal reticle color, but they've also changed it such that if it hovers over an enemy, right, it changes an additional color that you can choose, right? So you can make it bright red, or you can make it black, or you can make it that obnoxious blue, or whatever, right? So as it hovers over an enemy, it changes an additional color to let you know that that's not a friendly, although most of the time you can tell it's not a friendly, but it helps in PvP, because a lot of the times in PvP, and I'm saying this only because the last time I got dragged into PvP with Micah and all them, that was one of the issues I was facing is the enemy, I couldn't tell if they were friend or foe because they didn't glow a certain way for me, right? Yeah. And by the time I realized that this guy's an enemy, he's already shooting me, So now that the color changes when you hover over an enemy, that's very, very helpful, because in PvP, I don't need to see his glow. I just need to see my reticle change color. I'm like, okay, I'm going to shoot you now. So pretty good, right? When the new enemy targeted reticle color setting goes live, most players won't notice the difference, as the default value is the same red color that they're used to. Because players now have a much wider range of colors to apply to the targeted reticle color, we have removed the color applied by changing colorblind settings. People who use deuteranopia and protanopia colorblind presets will likely want to update this new setting to a new change color. We hope to increase the options. We hope to increase in options alleviates. No, that's how they wrote it. Hold on. We hope the increase in options alleviates the one-time setting change for these players. There we go. Haha, got it. In addition to adding new enemy targeted reticle color option, we have unified reticle indicator functionality across PC and consoles, which is handy. We're excited to hear what you think about this change next season. So, that's going to be really, really cool. Unfortunately, I don't use either one of those. I use the Tritanopia colorblind settings for myself. So, yeah. Full auto settings. Guys, did you know in Season 19, we introduced a full auto setting as described in the Season 19 weapons swap?
Funny enough, me and Peroty did, because you went on about it for about a year since they mentioned it. It was like, is it coming? Is it coming? Is it here now? Is it coming? Is it here? Is it now? No, Respawn, just wait. They haven't said anything. They said it's coming. It was here. It got introduced in Season 19, yes. We know. Hopefully the people know now.
Mm-hmm. Well, now you can get are you ready for it? Drum roll, please. Full auto melee setting. Good timing. Next season, we're adding a full auto melee setting. This upcoming change allows players to have a full auto mode for melee weapons, including swords and glaives, powered melee, unpowered melee attacks, and the melee attacks while in a roaming super. This setting will repeat melee attack whenever it's available, as long as the melee or fire button is held, depending on the type of melee attack. That is kind of awesome! Confirm and cancel toggle settings. But that's not out right now, is it? No, next is. Yeah, it's next.
Yeah. This is what's coming. Just like the full melee isn't here yet. But yeah, I mean, as far as, again, these are, just like the colorblindness, these are accessibility changes. If you've got problems, mashing that button over and over again, hold the button down, it'll do the same thing.
It's not even a button, right? So, Dimwee, I'm targeting you because I'm building on what Peroty said.
If you're meleeing, you're holding a button, or in your super doing a thing, it's a button to do that thing. So instead of smashing that button over and over again, you can now hold that button down and it will just continue to do the thing as long as you have a charge to do the thing with.
Right. Well, my melee button used to be me pressing down on my mouse click on the middle wheel, right? But over time, that will break that click, right? Especially if you have to press it repeatedly when you're doing melees with a glaive or something. So then I just swapped it to rolling my wheel, right? My mouse wheel. So I roll the wheel, and as it's rolling, I just keep doing the melees, right? But this right here, for people that use non-traditional melees, right? This is a godsend because now instead of clicking my mouse button down repeatedly, I can just hold it down and it's going to do all of my punches as much as I want. And as we've seen with full auto fire, you're probably going to end up auto punching faster than you can manually punch yourself. And for like, I don't know, Arc Hunter build where punching is your primary form of damage, just holding that button down and going ham is going to be amazing, you know? And it also saves on button damage because buttons, whether it be a mouse, a keyboard, or a controller, can only take so many clicks before they get to wear out or they get sticky or, just button clicks are bad, And if you can alleviate them just by holding it down, that's good. And we're just talking about for normal players like me and you. What if there's guys out there that have like the pad? Because there's this one guy that I saw that was missing half of an arm, and he's got like this circular pad that he uses to do all of the stuff with. Well, instead of him having to pound that little pad, he can just click down on it once and hold it and do automatic melees, So it's really good for accessibility for those that aren't as, handy capable as others. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think this is a huge win. And just because Dimwee can't see the forest for the trees doesn't mean it's not a good thing for the game. Also,
this is one of those settings where it's like, it may benefit you and I, a capable, able-bodied player, but it's not for us. The full auto firing helps all of us with our slow reflexes. Just like this, use it, don't use it. It's there for accessibility, just like the color blindness. I don't need the color blindness, but hey, I can turn it on and enjoy the benefits of it, just like closed captioning. I don't need the closed captioning, but I still like to turn it on. It's it's accessibility for people who need it and nice for people who don't. And if you don't need it, you don't have to think about it. And that's beautiful. It's nice that it's there for the people who need it, who can then sit here and play this game. If you're on, if you're like on the Xbox using the accessibility controller, or like I've seen, clips of like people who are like paraplegic playing with certain like controllers built for them to like run the game with their mouth. Like there's tons of ways.
Wow,
you can play with things. Yeah, I was just looking at the Xbox adaptive controller, and there's the quad stick, a game controller for quadriplegics. There's ways you can interact with games that are not just I hold a controller with two hands or sit at a mouse and keyboard. And having these available, making these games accessible to other people is really cool. So it's nice to see them focusing on these things that aren't just, hey, make my gun better, do this thing in game, but just, when they say they want to bring the game to everybody, they want to bring the game to everybody.
Indeed. I just think it's cool in general. Am I continuing?
Well, yeah.
Okay, cool.
It says yes.
No. Okay. So next, a new subtle color for option enters the chat. What is going on? I'm so thirsty. Another part of hearing.
Couldn't even see it.
Another part of hearing accommodation changes that we've been working on is something that is simple as text. What does it look like? What color is it? What size is it? In the next season, players will be able to further customize their HUD experience with the ability to tweak the below components. And it looks like subtitles on off, text size. You can change the text size of your subtitles. You can also change the color, the background style, and the background opacity when it comes to your subtitles. Nice. The text color setting has changed from a carousel left to right navigation to a drop-down. Tinted rectangles have been added to replace the text so that players can preview the color exactly as they will see it before making a selection, matching the pattern used for reticle colors. A yellow, quotes, yellow option has been added in addition to the default yellowish yellow. What?
You can have partial yellow or you can go full yellow.
You can go mustard yellow or school bus. Yeah. A peek behind the development of commendations. You're still pushing the system. From the start, accessibility has been an important cornerstone of Destiny 2's commendation system. Destiny currently supports 4 different color profiles. So fine-tuning a suite of colors for our needs as a feature that also met the needs of our players proved to be challenging, but worth it. Originally, we were looking at ways to simplify our palette so that it worked across the board. That would limit our visual design and could potentially lead to clashes as we did not anticipate or expect. You would be surprised at what colors are reserved for specific aspects of Destiny 2. Instead, we explored ways to tap into a system that already existed but was not exactly utilized for a full-feature UI implementation. Then, followed up to define new constants for our needs and apply our additions to commendations. Similarly to how gear rarity color changes, our commendations also shift with each setting. This means that whenever or wherever you are viewing commendations, those colors will all abide by the color preset you chose to play with. So your color presets, I guess, when it comes to colorblindness also affect, I mean, it makes sense, because, yeah, right? Duh. We even got creative while authoring the variety of cards, breaking up the assets into manageable pieces that we could then apply a corresponding value at a runtime. Now, I'm going to pause here for a second. Either one of you, aside from the colors, right, do you know how these commendations are weighed differently?
I know that they are weighed differently. I don't know what the weights are of them, but I know, so they are weighted differently.
What do you mean by weighted?
Like they have a score,
more or less points.
Okay.
Yeah.
The best rest commendation will give you less points than probably anything else, I'm going to guess.
Like leadership stuff, right? Right here, they show them all being labeled as 100, right? But we know, like, the red one, when you get the red one, you get more points than if you get, like, a blue one, right? So what I've noticed over time is the heart is the lowest value, followed by the spade, followed by the club, and then the diamond being the highest value of the card, right? So the color, I know, because the colors kept changing. I was like, well, hell, now I have a golden brown color. What the hell is this one, right? WTF? You know?
Yeah.
You know, what weighs more now? Is it the red or the golden brown? I don't know what to do, right? So aside from the color, it's actually the card symbol that helps weigh it too, right? So the highest weighted is always going to be a diamond. Second to that, club, which is like the little 3-leaf clover.
Yeah, leadership will be the highest, and club is your mastery, saying, hey, you were good at this.
Mm-hmm. And then fun is going to be your spade, and then heart is going to be your ally. Like, I just got a best dressed, right? I didn't even know that was a thing until today, but that was the fun category, right? So anyway, they go through a bunch of the different color schemes I have. Some examples for those of you who play with color preset off by default. You will notice there are a ton of differences between them, but for those that require a distinct color preset, the level of contrast surely does help distinguish one category from another. Again, the colors are dumb. The symbols are what you need to pay attention to. Actually, I can't tell the difference between picture 1 and picture 2. They look exactly the same.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see any difference either, and I feel like I'm going crazy.
And now the third picture definitely is different.
Did you put the same picture in twice just to mess with us? Because I'm pretty sure those are the same things.
Okay, so the first picture has allies being kind of a forest green. Fun is yellow.
It's subtly different.
Yep, and then mastery is blue. Leadership is purple. The third picture has ally being a bright green, and now fun is a deep purple, and now mastery is that red color. I think this is what mine is right here, because mastery for me is always red. And then leadership is blue. I think this is mine right here, the third picture. There you go. And then the fourth picture is ally is that forest green. Fun is kind of a maroon color. Mastery is now a brownish gold color, and leadership is still kind of a bluish color. So yeah, they've given us 3 examples out of 4, because I can't tell the difference between 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I really can't.
Yeah, like 1 and 2, like I literally had to open in Windows side by side, switch back and forth. They're the same colors. They're just like, one's basically dimmer and one's brighter. but the color looks the same. It's literally just like like a more vivid shade of blue or a less vivid shade. Like the actual color doesn't change, just like the brightness, the opacity probably. Because it was driving me nuts.
Tritantopia. Let me. Yeah, there's 4 videos where it shows. You know how when you get a combination, you go bing, and you got the little bright, colorful firework, sparkly things around you. Yeah. It also shows what colors those are based on your default Deuterantopia, Proantopia, and Tritantopia colors. So cool.
So yeah. The question is that all the things that you've been saying like over time, that could Bungie fix this, could Bungie do this, is this something that you've actually asked for them to do, to actually fix? This is some of the things. Are there more issues that you have with the colorblind settings?
It was more I didn't know that they could. It didn't come to my mind, right? So the health bars blending into the background was the big problem I had, and then you could change the colors to fix the health bars. Right. And then colorblind broke, and then I had a hard time again. And then they fixed colorblind, which broke the raids. So everything in colorblind mode was all red. So obviously that's not helping. But I didn't even think to change the reticle color, right? Because most of the time I'm sighting in and I have like the red dot or whatever symbol we have based on the weapon that we have, right? Yeah. So I never even have the settings on, because even at home on my home computer, sometimes I've struggled so bad that my home computer is a gaming monitor, right? And I have the option to put a dot on my screen that is just there all the time. Right in the center of my screen, there's a dot, and it's a bright white, obnoxiously out of place dot. So I just know where my reticle's at when I'm at home, right? But on my laptop, I have experienced issues where my aim down sights and my reticle disappears. So the fact that they said that I can change these colors is actually going to help a lot, you know? So like I said, for a long time now, mine's been a bright green. And now when it hovers over enemies, I can change it to a different color to let me know that guy is in fact a bad guy, because red doesn't always help, especially when, I don't know, they're Cabal and they wear red, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think it absolutely will help, and I just need to figure out what color contrasts on most of the enemies more often and run with that.
So when you were doing the nightmare hunts with all that red and stuff, was that causing an issue with you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like there were times where I just had to put the enemy in the middle of my scope and just fire, right? And I was missing all kinds of headshots. And I mean, it's funny until you realize like you can't hit the crits if you can't see your
it's
dot.
Funny until it's not. Yeah, no, exactly. You know? It's funny until it's like, no, I'm trying to play and enjoy this game, and I literally cannot. Yeah, like, I literally do not have the capability to see the thing I need to see to do the thing you want me to do.
And there's a lot of these boss fights where the boss's head's shaking around a lot, and I have no idea where my freaking dot is, you know? And it's like, bloop, that's white. That ain't it. Bloop, that's a miss. Damn it. Where's my dot? Right? So, yeah, it's definitely going to help if I can have a enemy-specific color it changed to when I'm hovering over the enemy. So, yeah, I had issues with a lot of stuff. And hopefully next season, this will alleviate a lot of these issues. So I don't have to cheat and use a dot on my screen anymore.
Of course you will. You'll still use the dot.
Just take a Sharpie and just put it on the screen there, and it'll be fine.
No, on my laptop, you joke, but on my laptop, I had to take a piece of it was a sticker from a restaurant that I had eaten at, and I tore off a corner of it that was just a little red corner. So I had this little rip of a sticker in the middle of my screen, so I could see where the middle was.
You can buy little red dots anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, this was on hand, right?
Yeah. On hand.
Use what you got. Yeah. So part of this article, and this may seem silly, but like, if you're sitting here out there going, this is starting to make sense, where people are saying, hey, I'm seeing this color, because at some point you have to be diagnosed with color blindness. You have to come to the understanding of you see colors differently as other people do. So linked in this article, they do have a link to the National Eye Institute of the different types of color blindness. Or if you're just sitting here going, I'm having the same, I'm listening to Respawn talk going, I'm having the same problems. This is me. These are the problems I'm having. They linked an article because you're sitting here going, what is, Deuteranopia, Protodopia? You're going, what are these? Well, the National Eye Institute page has a nice page that Bungie links to of basically what are these different types. So like the two main types are red, green, colorblind. Mm-hmm. or blue-yellow color blindness, or just a complete color blindness. Some people just do not see colors at all.
Some people have issues with the yellow, which is me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So blue. Yeah. So if you're blue-yellow colorblind, there's the Oh God, I'm going to try to say these words, and this is going to be a giant disaster.
That's the worst one to say too. Go ahead.
There's the trinomaly, which makes it hard to tell the difference between blue and green, or between yellow and red, and the tritanopia makes you unable to tell the difference between blue and green, purple and red, and yellow and pink. It also makes the colors look less bright. So that's why Bungie has, some of those brighter or less bright colors, because you're just seeing the colors less vividly as people with full color sight does. I don't know how to say that. And then
there's also different kinds, like Peroty's talking about, and there's different levels of colorblindness too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like me, mine isn't so bad that I can't tell the difference between these colors. Mine is such that if there are two colors close to each other, that's my problem. Like a yellow and a green, I can't tell. A pink and a red, a blue and a purple and a black, right? An orange and like a brown sometimes. You can't really tell, right? So if they're close to each other, people like me have issues with that. It just kind of fades into the other one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're blue-yellow? I'm
Triton, blah, 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 blah.
That one. Yeah. You're Titan colorblindness. Got it.
Titan colorblindness. I'm using that from now on. I stole it.
Yeah. Titan and then red green. There's a similar. Oh God. There's 4 variations of the red green colorblindness, which is the same thing. So yeah, if you're sitting here playing games with your friends, going, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. Maybe it's worth checking out to see if any of these make sense, or play with these settings and go, hey, does this work for me? Because like legit. When I was younger, I had a friend with glasses. I did not have glasses at the time. I put his glasses on as a goof one day and was like, oh, I see better now, far away. Oh, hey, I can read that sign that's way over there. So it's possible, because again, you live in your own world, in your own body, and you may not understand that, hey, you don't see things the way people do or whatever else. So, if you're having problems with colors, maybe investigate some of these colorblind settings, because you may learn something about yourself that'll make your entire life a little bit easier to deal with.
Yeah, that's the same exact way I found out I needed glasses. I put on my cousin Frog's glasses and I could see. I was like, this is neat.
Your cousin Frog.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah.
so spoken like a true man from the city. See, I knew a kid named Bucket growing up. So when you said Frog, didn't even think twice about it.
And we just called him Frog because he'd like to jump a lot on a trampoline. He looked like a frog. It's fine. It's all right.
Oh, I thought it was because you were from the swamps. Sorry.
No, we actually grew up in the city of New Orleans. But yeah, I think it's funny that you mentioned that, because that's exactly how I found out that I was nearsighted and couldn't see things far away. I put on his glasses, I could read signs. I was like, oh my God, it's a miracle.
Right? It's like, hey, I can read that sign way over there now. Who knew there were words on that? It wasn't just like fuzzy colors.
Who knew I was actually supposed to see things far away?
Right? You mean you people are out here just using your eyes to see things far away and read text on signs? Nah, I don't believe that at all.
Right? The elite.
Nonsense. So not to totally put you on the spot, but like, did you find you were colorblind like in the same way? Like how did that? Again, not to like dig into baseball and lore here, but like just out of curiosity, like.
Yeah, I find myself wearing pink a lot, and people would make fun of me because I would wear pink because I thought it was red. So eventually I just stopped wearing red altogether and started wearing blue to be safe. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how I found out that there was something wrong, because what color I thought it was, most of the time wasn't. So, yeah. That's how it started.
Pen that I hold in my hand is royal blue.
Blue! Goddamn pen is blue! It's not that bad. But yes, so that is all for the colorblind settings. What is next?
Well, we have This Week at Bungie for the 20th of April. We have Timon. Timon is going to help us go through this week's...
So what? Like Pumbaa?
No, it hasn't got an E at the end. That's
German Pumbaa.
Timon.
German Timon.
Okay.
Yes, he's from Germany.
Excuse my ignorance, everybody.
So, in case you missed it, last week's TWAB was specific third-party peripheral usage, which you guys discussed. You also talked about Destiny, which we've seen the commendations now go live in-game and have made fair usage of. I have berated at least one person because they upset me, and I said I was going to give them the best dress because they didn't deserve that many points. So that's what they got. You got a
Wait, best
reminder
dress is a bad thing? No,
well, it was for him because it was less points.
Only if you berate the person first.
Yeah.
It's a 2-step process.
We got a reminder about Trials Labs. Did you guys forget? Because I completely forgot, even though you guys reminded me that it was Trials Labs.
What's Trials?
Exactly. I didn't forget so much as choose not to participate.
You can't not choose to participate. You need to do it for your triumphs or your challenges. Week 8
Again,
challenge.
What's Trials?
20 rounds.
I've got time. I've got time between now and the end of the season. We're only at the mid-season. I got time. We're good.
Good. Okay, I'm just reminding you now, like everybody else out there, we're in week 8. There was a challenge that said win 20 rounds. Not all at the same time. You could do like 2 or 3 now, put the game down, come back. Not next weekend.
No, a round. What is a round? A round is 5 matches, right?
No. A round is a round.
A match is 5 rounds. So in those 5 things, you need to win 20 of those. Okay. So either so if you go 4-0 and you win the 5 games each time, then you're good. Okay. Or if you just do it one at a time, if you lose 1-4 every single time, you do 20 of those, and you're still good.
Exactly.
You can get there eventually.
And you said it does not have to be in a row; it just has to be in total, right?
Yep. It just has to be overall for the rest of the season, and your reward is a trials weapon. Which trials weapon? I don't know, but a trials weapon.
I'm guessing it's going to be that submachine gun.
I hope not, because it's about to get double nerfed.
Well, you've had fun with it while it lasted.
I've not used it at all. I don't have one, which is why I don't want one.
Then stop moaning about it. They're going to give you one for free. Yeah. Well, as I say for free, you do have to put some time and effort in.
Oh, yeah, but okay, if they're going to give me a thing for free, right? And that thing they're giving me is about to get double nerfed. I don't want the thing. Give me another thing that's going to make my time getting the thing worth it.
You don't get a choice. We do not live in a land of where Bungie go, you get a trials weapon and you get to choose, or like a Nightfall weapon and you get to choose from any of the Nightfall weapons. They go, you are having this one, that is it. You've done a thing, we're giving you that. It would be nice if you got a choice, Bungie.
Although, to be fair, I mean, you do sort of get a choice because as you're playing, and if you've unlocked things, you can then use those lovely engrams to go to Saint 14, and then you have your choice of weapons, just like Nightfalls. You can go to Zavala and say, I have all these Vanguard tokens. I would like to try my hand at rolling different Nightfall weapons.
Well, so I'm not a Vanguard.
You sort of had a choice.
No, don't give me that, because I didn't have a choice. I thought I would skip the whole thing of this hung juror that everybody was kind of trying to get last week.
Oh my god, it's so good! I finally got my roll.
But you are good. So I thought, I've got a hung juror. I've had like 2 hung jurors from the last times that they came back around for. I wandered up to Zavala. I said to him, give me one of these new ones and I'll see if I can roll for this new hotness that Respawn was going on about. He said, no, you haven't acquired one from the Nightfall this season, so you've got nothing, my friend.
I did the same thing because the only adept weapon I have is a hung juror from however many seasons ago. And so I walked up new, I knew I couldn't just get a new adept roll.
Yeah.
But I was like, can I just get one anyway? And it's like, no, you have to unlock it just like the buzzard, even though I've gotten a buzzard.
Oh yeah.
When that was the ritual weapon. No, you haven't gotten the new one with the origin perk. So yeah, if you're thinking, I'm gonna go and don't be Nitedemon thinking I'm gonna go just pick a bunch of these up, because no, you're not. You have to get the new one with the new origin perk.
Then you
can go farm for extra hung jury rolls with the rest of your engrams, but you do need to unlock it first.
Yeah, because even if you don't get the role that you wanted, as long as you've got a hung juror from this season, you can then go and throw and shards at Zavala and go, look, you give me a role. And you might, what is it, the one that you wanted? Was it rangefinder and
kinetic tremors and
tremors? That was it.
Mine was, I didn't want rangefinder. Rangefinder falls in the same category as kinetic tremors. I got rapid hit kinetic tremors, and I got another one that's got subsistence kinetic tremors. So
yeah, it was the kinetic tremors that everybody was like raving about. I was like, I want to see if I can get this, but I can't. So I've learnt my lesson, and I've now missed out for the rest of the season because it's not going to be here. That's it. The last one was last week. So yeah, Bungie Foundation gave us some details about kilts for kids, and Arf showed us his kilt without kids, but he has a kilt.
And his kilt was down.
And kids, and he probably has kilts for his kids.
He probably
so
does.
We've come full circle.
Yeah,
he probably makes kilts out of his kids.
So would you like to know what we're diving into this week?
What are we diving into this week?
Why are we diving?
Bungie are going to give us highlights.
Bungie says we're diving.
Yeah.
Oh, we're diving. Okay.
Bungie say that we're going to give you highlights of the mid-season patch, but I know Peroty knows the patch inside and out, and even sent me and Respawn a link that I know Respawn probably hasn't looked at.
Nope.
So we can have a look at that. We're going to have a look at the highlights of our recent accessibility options, but we're not, because we've already done that. We had our master go through that, our Respawn master. He's told you all about how to be colorblind, how to correct the colorblindness, and how to correct your colorblind settings. So you don't need to know that. We're going to look at the community exotic weapon ornament that is coming to Destiny, the next community ornament vote, and the last week of Iron Banner, which I'm excited about. You know, more Iron Banner. So yeah, and weekly Destiny movies of the week and art of the week picks. So, mid-season patch stuff.
Lots of mid-season patch stuff.
So, I thought that I was in one of these because y'all keep making fun of me about how it's funny it happens to Respawn and nobody else, right? So I was keeping my mouth shut about it because, like, my knives were not proccing the radiant shield popping rounds. Whenever I would go invisible, my volatile rounds were popping shields, and I was so tilted about it, right? And bosses were hitting harder and this and that and the other. And I was like, you know what? I'll shut my mouth. Maybe I'm just mistiming it or whatever, because people keep saying, oh, it's funny. It always happens to you. And then later on, I saw the patch notes when, in fact, it was happening everywhere. And I was like, oh, so this whole time you spent a week kicking people offline so you could do this mid-season patch. And in the end, the mid-season patch broke, fundamental game mechanics. I love it. This is what I live for.
So for Crucible, they've removed the clash from quick play, and that just means that you now have control in there. So that is it. Quick play is now just control. And they're going to split the two rotator nodes, which they already did, and they started that last week. Or, no, this week, wasn't it? It was the first week, yeah. And they started that this week with zone control in one, and in the other we have momentum control. So the two nodes are going to be Clash, Zone Control, and Rift. And then in the other one is going to be Mayhem, Scorched, and Momentum Control. Now, the one that is called Relentless is going to be Clash, Zone Control, and Rift. And don't you think for 2 seconds that it actually goes in that order, Clash, Zone Control, and Rift, and it doesn't rotate round either. It's not like you go into it and it rotates into those three different... No. It is just one mode each week. So this week, we have Zone Control. And then in the blog here, they put Zone Control / Rift, and then it goes back to Clash. But don't you think that it actually does that? It does not. It goes Zone Control, Clash, and then it'll go to Rift. Whereas on the other side, we've got Momentum Control, which is also up this week. It doesn't go to Scorch, it goes back to Mayhem. So there you go. So this week that we're currently in, Momentum Control and Zone Control. Next week, as I've already told you in This Week in Destiny, is going to be Mayhem, Iron Banner, and Clash.
Why Mayhem and Iron Banner on the same week? Come on, Bungie. Can we divorce these two? I want to play a bunch of Iron Banner and I want to play a bunch of Mayhem, but they need to be different weeks.
Can we have Mayhem, Iron Banana?
We should.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, we did in Destiny 1, so I don't see why we can't have it now. But the other thing to think about is that I know people say that they don't give enough love to PvP. They've created another playlist with different modes in it, so you can have one that is just.
And you guys even got a new map this season.
But you can have you've now got the two rotators, and then if you've got Iron Banner up, or then you've got trials at the weekends when Iron Banner isn't around. So there is a lot more PvP stuff, and I know. I think it's always just going to be a work in progress, isn't it? Because there's so many different things that they kind of need to adjust. But I'm looking forward to actually dipping my toe into the two different... I mean, we tried this week. We tried with Zone Control, but nobody wanted to come and play Zone Control. We sat there in a queue for a good 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The three of us.
Yeah, I was starting to wonder because I remember when Bungie was saying, we don't want to split the population too much. The PvP population isn't great to begin with. We don't want to have a bunch of different playlists. We're worried about splitting the population, and now we're sitting in zone control, desperately trying to find 12 guardians to play zone control. It's like, really, guys? Like, it's just zone control. It's not that serious.
Yeah. So I don't know whether this is another one of their things that if they split the rotators, that they can then see who actually wants to play those game modes, and if they're not popular, they'll take them out. We tried to play your zone control, but it just wasn't having any of it this week. But I mean, momentum control, fine. I guess Mayhem and Scorch will also be fine. Not sure about Clash. Rift will probably be fine as well. A lot of people do like to play Rift, but we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
They've also increased the respawn overshield protection in PvP, which is good.
My dad works for Bungie.
Respawn needs it. Mm-hmm.
He does all the time. They've introduced a seasonal ascendant emblem and stat tracker to display your current competitive division, which I have seen a lot of. People high up in the competitive division with this new emblem. Looks pretty cool. We went over it a couple of weeks ago. Bungie told us about it. It's here. It looks cool.
I really like the emblem. Will I be able to get there? Probably not, but I really like the emblem.
Yeah, we can sit back, Peroty, and we can go, ooh, that looks nice.
That's pretty.
Just run with Dimwee. Dimwee's already got the highest tier emblem. So run with him.
There you go.
Carry.
I'm gonna be in his backpack. He's gonna be taking me to the lighthouse.
And he's British,
or,
so he's in
as Respawn likes to call it, the tower. Every couple of weeks I hear you talking about Trials of Osiris and going, I've never been to the town. I'm going, it's the lighthouse.
If I've never been, how do I know if it's a tower or a lighthouse? I don't know.
To be fair, it is a tower. It is a form of tower, so I'll give him partial credit.
It just makes me laugh.
It's a tower. It's very bright.
Crucible and Gambit titles and gilding are being fixed and reset. So this is if you had found that you could gild your title by just doing one of the triumphs. They've now fixed that, and the same with the Crucible ones, because I am not whatever it was in Crucible, but I found it and I put it on for about a week, and I was like, I am a god. And then I fired my gun and I got killed, and I was not a god, so I took it back off and put on my Iron Lord title.
Oh my god! Pop! Never mind!
Trials of Osiris commendations will be blocked if you do not get other Trials rewards. So I'm guessing that's if you lose, then yeah.
You get nothing!
You get nothing. Good day, sir.
Lose, good day, sir. Exactly. So they mentioned the word Gambit. Look, they wrote it. They remember it exists, kind of, sort of, a little bit.
Now, funny thing about Gambit is that I know it's whispers at the moment, but from every kind of podcast and YouTube video that has mentioned the We Shall Not Be Named playlist, they say it's good at the moment. And they don't know, because people have been away from it for so long, they don't know whether it was good from the start of Lightfall because nobody's played it, or there's been a patch somewhere along the line from Lightfall to now that it's actually good. I even heard Hazel talk about it on the Guardian Down podcast saying it's good now, and he doesn't like it. And I believe that they were talking about it on the Last Word podcast as well.
I need you to clip that and send it to everyone. There's no way that's true.
It's always been good. We've been trying to tell you people, but nobody listens to us.
Everybody. It's good. Is it because of Strand? Has Strand made the game?
Strand does help out a lot. Strand is phenomenal for ad clear and ad control. It's really good.
Strand is loads of fun, but I mean, so we're strapping detonators to people's chests.
So
you're saying that I need to become a Gambiteer by the end of the season?
You do.
Need is a strong word,
especially once the shoot to loot. Once you can shoot to loot your heavy ammo boxes
and the heavy ammo,
and your orbs
and the heavy ammo boxes, you don't even need to run to the other side of the Gambit map. You can be like, you've cleared the side, let me shoot that ammo, and then let me go back to what I was doing.
But the problem is the ammo box is a box. It's not just ammo on the ground, so you still have to interact with the box.
No, Peroty thinks he can just shoot the box.
No, they told me in the shoot to loot.
He might be right.
They told me in the shoot to loot change, I can shoot the heavy ammo box. That's what they told me. Whether it'll work, who knows? Whether it'll work in Gambit, double, who knows? But they said it would work. I could shoot the box.
Yeah, you sure did say that.
So for our Vanguard ops, they've tuned the difficulty in the highest battlegrounds preset in the Vanguard Nightfall playlist. And defeating tormentors now provides revive tokens like champions and hive guardians in some activities. Some activities. Not all, just some. And don't forget, double XP in the Vanguard playlist next week, which also means double XP in the Nightfall playlist.
Nice. Too bad it's not double drops, though.
If you don't want to play Iron Banner, like Respawn, you can go and sit in the Vanguard playlist, go and get your Ecliptic Distaff Glaive.
Yep, I got that one. Yay. I got it.
You don't need any more. So what I'm hearing from you is that you need to go play Iron Banner next week.
I don't think I'll have a choice. Lately, my brother and Micah keep dragging me into it. So
there you go. Good times then.
No, it's not good times.
Now, something that has also piqued a lot of people's interest this week from a lot of YouTube videos that I've seen. They've increased the damage of the following weapon types against red bar and orange bar enemies in PvE. Auto rifles, Peroty. Did you know this? You did?
Oh, I absolutely
did. You love
it?
It's cool. I've seen so many auto rifle videos this week that I think I just kind of stuck to Destiny Fun Police this week for his videos. It was Cerberus +1. Did you know this gun existed? And it is now good in PvE and PvP.
He mentioned one you can't get anymore, though, man. That's what upset me. The one that as you fire it faster, it does less damage.
Breakneck from Gambit a million seasons ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't even acquire it anymore. He's like, guys, y'all are sleeping on this. Yeah, because you can't get it.
Well, no, new players can't get it, but if you were around, and you got
it.
Yeah, I have it. I told you about it before Destiny Fun Police. I told you I was using it in Iron Banner.
Nightedemon's got it.
Yeah, ages ago.
Yeah,
but there's also
my gnawing hunger, even better than it was before. It's beautiful.
Is it?
Yeah, it has a 25% PvE damage boost.
Yeah.
Now you can take those 96 bullets and do 25% more damage with each and every bullet. What's not to love?
My dude, I need to bring you into a raid because you know what? What's 96 bullets against 140 that keep reloading itself as you fire?
I don't know. If I'm going to the raid, though, I'm bringing the Quicksilver Storm that got this patch and got its 40% PvE damage boost given back to it.
It's good. And not only that, but it's rockets. I don't know if it's rockets or bugged right now, but its rockets are doing so much. Not rockets, sorry. The grenades are doing so much flipping damage right now. I mean, I'm erring on the side of caution saying that it's probably bugged, but God, it's really good. So you want to bring that? Go right on ahead. Not even going to fight you on it.
Another good auto rifle that is doing quite well is the Fireflight, which was one of the craftable weapons. I believe it was from when we had Season of the Haunted. Mm-hmm. So this is a 450 auto rifle that can be crafted if you already did it. I don't know if you can get it now or where to go get it now, but Destiny Fun Police did have a video on it, and it kind of works a bit like the Breakneck. So if you can craft it to the point that you can get the Adagio perk on it, which is after defeating a target, this weapon fires more slowly, but it does increase damage.
That's the opposite of a Breakneck.
No, but it fires slower, but it does more damage.
Yes, but the Breakneck fires faster and does more DPS, but overall does less damage per round.
Exactly. But he was popping off in Crucible with this, and as I said, I will drop those videos.
It's Destiny Fun Police, of course he is.
I know. He's a good player, but
he's a very good player.
Yeah. We've also had pulse rifles, hand cannons, and sidearms getting 20%, and scout rifles get 10%, and this is in PvE.
Oh, come on.
What?
10%? Really?
Yeah, you don't need them doing any more for now.
Yeah, you kind of do. See, Bungie explained it the other day. I don't know if you saw that, Twab, but they're talking about like the reason we don't mess with scout rifles too much is because scout rifles people use as a safety net. Hang back and shoot somebody, and not die. So they don't want to use. They don't want it to continue to be a safety net. That's why they don't really buff them as much as they should. Yeah. But I mean, you let me have my safety net. You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't I have a safety net?
You can.
Why not?
It's called a Titan Barricade.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not a safety net.
It is.
Or avoid overshield.
Titan.
No, because you're hiding behind something, but you're not doing any damage to anything while you're hiding behind it, unless you got the Titan's ramparts on. But that's a different story. So no, I mean, let me have. I mean, even if I don't have like a safety net, right? There are just some scout rifles out there I just enjoy using. Randy's throwing knife is coming back, right? That's a really good scout rifle. I would love to use that scout rifle.
No one's stopping you.
The Hung Jury is a good scout rifle with a good roll on it right now. I'd love to use that in more than just some selected activities. Yeah, but after this buff, everything else is going to be significantly more powerful. 25% more powerful, and the scout rifle's 10. Why? We're not going to use them in CQC, situations. Give them the buff that everybody else gets.
You're not going to compete with the auto rifle and the scout rifle from a million miles away. You're going to kill me with a scout rifle before my bullet from my auto rifle get there.
Yes, in PvP, you're correct. But in PvE, it's not the case. Their weapons don't have damage fall off. They're shooting purple eyeball jizz at you until you die.
What is this dying you speak of?
Somebody clearly hasn't done enough Grandmasters.
Correct. I've done 0. But this is where I will point you to, unless Nitedemon is already going to point you to this, how to get all old craftable weapons. Start prepping now from Astacross, who put out a video this week, where how to get, if you're like, oh, the Firefight, what's the Firefight? Where does it come from? It comes from Season of the Haunted. So yeah. And he goes through the list of, what they are, where they come from, and weapons we're sure where you can get them, not sure where you can get them. And so if you're trying to figure out where to get these, here you go. 8 minutes and 3 seconds of hunting down old weapons. And really, there's so many good auto rifles. The Amit, the Firefight. There's lots of good options out there. Or just go into your vault and say what's sitting in there. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's craftable. It can roll with incandescent. Like, you can do lots of fun stuff with it.
Yeah, and like Astacross made a full video about this, but giving him credit where it's due, he's usually really good about telling you when something's going to go away, or when a weapon is really good, get it now because you don't know if you'll have an opportunity again, right? He's usually really good about those kinds of things. So a lot of these weapons that he was telling you how to hang on to, if you look back, he's already done at least one video on these before, so this video is important, yeah, but I mean, just in general, he kind of keeps you up to date on these kinds of things. But if you're
new to the game, you've only just got it for your birthday or something, or you're playing the free to play model.
Yeah, ask Astacross for information.
You're listening to us.
Plunder the Booty for builds. 2 Titans and a Hunter for your entertainment and your news. And
Ebontis for give me a step-by-step of what I'm going to encounter running through this mission.
Yeah. See, that's all you need to know. The 4 channels you need to pay attention to.
And cheese forever, because cheese is applicable to all things and delicious.
True. Yeah. And
speaking
game
of cheese,
exploits are always fun.
Speaking of cheese, I was sure that I was going to hear rage from you this week regarding the cheese that he put out.
I haven't seen anything
yesterday. Well, no, it was patched very, very quickly.
Okay, that answers my question. I almost ran screaming and sending this to Respawn. I was like, by the time I do, they're going to patch it. And sure enough.
It was very, very fast. I think 6 hours.
Oh,
I think he posted
what was it?
I think he posted it first thing in the morning for you guys, and it took them until the reset, and they went, no, this is not happening.
What was it?
It was another one of those glitches where you could use Glimmer to buy an ornament.
Oh, that, yeah.
A piece of gear, dismantle it, and you get
infinite shard farm.
Yeah.
With the macro to do it on a PC.
Yeah, by the time I got off work that day, it was already patched. So I did know about that. Yeah. Yeah, that's why earlier when you said Bungie just wants to take our fun away, I was like, yeah, I agree. 100%. That was one of the things that came to my mind is that right there.
And I know we'll probably get onto it in a second, but they did talk about in the patch the farm for the duality dungeon, where you could kind of bait the boss off the edge of the map and he would just die, is now been fixed. And now he just respawns back up at the top and you have to actually go through the thing. And I was listening to the Last Word podcast and they were saying that they really enjoyed doing that farm because it was quicker. I mean, it's always going to be quicker, but it was quicker to do it that way to kill the boss and get the Artifice armor. Now, the Artifice armor, if you're not aware about it gives you an extra slot on your armor piece. And this extra slot gives you a chance to add more resilience, recovery, super etc., etc. Only a small amount, but it gives you that extra bump sometimes that you might need.
You say it's a small amount. Overall, if you have every piece of armor, that's 15 points. 15 points you can play with. That's a lot.
Yeah, plus 3 in every slot. Or, even if you just have the class item, that's an extra 3 points you can throw towards something. You can make that 97 100 or make your 98 101. Make sure you're getting that full resilience or recovery or whatever it is you're trying to max out.
So, yeah. And I mean, they were saying that if they'd have, I think they got quite a few drops. I can't remember exactly, but we're talking like plus 20 drops for doing that farm. And they were saying that if they'd have had to have done that, because you have to do it on the master version of that dungeon to get the Artifice armor to drop. And they said if they'd have taken the time and actually done the encounter properly, that they would have just, killed themselves, because it just would have been so demoralizing.
It's also the drops too. Use the cheat, and even using the cheat, we did it so many times and only got a couple of pieces of Artifice armor, and even then the rolls were crap. So imagine doing this whole master activity, right? And you don't even get high stat rolls guaranteed, right? You don't get the stat roll at least guaranteed by your ghost with the extra 10 in the slot. That's not even guaranteed. And it's not even guaranteed you're going to get a piece of armor. We got weapons over and over and over and over and over and over again before we got hardly any armor, man. It was dumb.
That's what they were saying, that they were completely demoralized by the fact that the armor that they were getting was in the low 60s. Now, with Artifice armor, you want it to kind of be in the high 60s, decent rolls as well. And I think that's where Bungie kind of still keep missing the mark on, if you've got this, master dungeon and you're putting the time and the effort, and these things aren't easy to do, which is why when these farms come up, people are kind of clapping their hands going, yes, I really want to do that. Bungie, I know it's hard to say, don't patch the things like the infinite shard glitch that we had yesterday, but they take that bit of fun of people actually going into the duality dungeon and farming. And I think if they'd have looked at it and gone, okay, we're going to take that out, but we are going to bump up the armor to reflect that, if you do go through it and you do complete that activity and you get an armor piece of drop, the minimum that this is going to be dropping at is 65 minimum.
Yes.
And
your ghost mod should have some say in that too.
Yeah, things like that. I think
spike the armor, how you have your ghost set up.
And I think what's also frustrating as a Destiny player is that when you see these things come up and they just go, right, we've patched this, we've done that, they're not. I know they're quite open and honest they give us a lot of information, but I think some of the things that they skip on giving information on, like the duality dungeon, if they'd have just put that, yes, we've patched that cheese, you won't be able to do that anymore. He spawns back up at the top, but give themselves a time frame. Next month, 2 months, 3 months. In the next couple of months, we will be working on making sure that the Artifice armor that you get from those dungeons will be high stat rolls and X plus Y, kind of thing. Yeah. I think because they don't say that extra little bit at the end, it frustrates the Destiny players. They're like, well, you've patched our fun, but you've not actually.
Well, it's not just that frustrates the players. Like, okay, it took them how long to fix that, right? And yet you still have man cannons in the raid that will send you below the platform you need to be on, or will sling you into a wall and kill you, even though they said physics can't kill you anymore, or shoot you off to the left. Like, how does a man cannon shoot you to the left, right? How's that even a thing? And especially for warlocks are especially bugged when it comes to these raw man cannons, right? Yet that's still broken. But the patch, the farm, that was fixed immediately, right? So that's what's incredibly infuriating, is the things that break the game, for people that play a lot of raids, when new people come in, there's a lot of bugs in the raid, and veterans like me will say, well, believe it or not, you're not fighting the raid mechanics as much as you're fighting the Bungie bugs, because stuff bugs out all the time. You'll have like these little nuts in this raid, it looks like a little chestnut, right? But when you run up to it, it's got a little chestnut. You shoot the chestnut, and then it's got a light pointing where you need to go next, right? Well, when you run up to it, the light beam is there, but the chestnut doesn't exist. It's just not there. It's not tangible. You can shoot there all you want, but it's just not there. No, maybe 20 seconds later it might show up, but that's 20 seconds now where this boss is about to do his white mechanic because I couldn't shoot the net because it wasn't there. You know, that happens multiple times every day during the raid, and that's still broken. You know, it's because Bungie focuses on things that I mean, it's mean. Astrocross has said it. We've said it so many times. So many YouTubers say, but Bungie absolutely patches the things that benefit the players far faster and far more frequently than the things that. And I'm sorry, I'm aggravated, I'm emotional, but I've had to fight this crap all the time, man.
Sorry. No, but would it appease you slightly if Bungie actually came out and said a bit more about it and said, look, we understand this, we are working on this, we can't give you a time frame, but it is something that we're looking at. Just a little bit of information like that, just to kind of help alleviate some of that frustration. Would that help?
If you're talking about bugs in general, possibly. Regarding this specific bug where you can't farm the masters anymore, what they need to do is they need to make that like Grandmaster Nightfalls. You're guaranteed the weapon drop at the end. Guaranteed. You know you're going to get the hung jury or the shotgun if you manage to beat it. Now, you also know you're going to get a ton of exotic stuff. You're going to get the golf balls and the shards and exotic armor pieces, right? Those are randomized. You don't know which one of those you're going to get, right? But you know how a couple patches ago they said you're guaranteed X, Y, and Z for completing Grandmaster or Nightfalls in general on these settings, right? What if I'm going to go into a dungeon and I complete it on Master? I should guarantee for each encounter I do, I should be guaranteed that encounter's armor drop. The weapon drop could be, whatever, right? But if I'm there to farm Artifice armor, I need to know I'm going to get the Artifice armor. Or if it's not going to be a guaranteed weapon drop or armor drop, when I do get an armor drop, it better be guaranteed high stat armor. They need to have some kind of guarantee in there. That way I'm not wasting my time getting high 50s, low 60s rolls with freaking 30 mobility and 10 and 20 intellect on an armor piece. Who's going to use that?
That's the problem with all of this master draws. I mean, even again, I use the Abantis cheese or the cheese he posted to do a master, story mission from Lightfall. Would I have ever done that on my own? No, and I still never will, because at the end of it, I literally did it. Well, the thing is, at the end of it, I literally did it just for the triumphs. That's the only reason I even bothered to try it, because at the end I got a 62 rolled piece of armor for an 1840 master level activity. And if you were doing that on, I don't know how you get through that. I mean, again, I'm like 1820-ish on the season.
I wouldn't have played. I'd put the controller down, walked away.
No. Like if I weren't invulnerable for 3/4 of that mission, I honestly, God, do not know how you survive that. I do not know how you get through that activity. And then at the end of it, to get, I mean, yes, like I got the Ascendant Shard, I got the end game materials, but then to get a 62 rolled armor piece as my reward, I'm going, why? If I had done this legitimately, I would be so angry. And I agree with you entirely on the armor farm. I jumped into it with blue screen and then pan a couple different times. Just really, I was trying to get at least an artifice bond for the warlock, and then Titan mark at least to get that piece of artifice, because that, at least, it doesn't matter what the rolls on it are, because there aren't any. I just get +3 stats to anything, and I can throw it on to every loadout I have. Because the other armor I got, there was maybe one other piece, and we got, I don't know, like 15 or 20 armor drops. But yeah, most of them were garbage. Most of them were low rolled, terrible splits. It's like, why? Like I mean, if something's like a 65 or 66 or something, I'm going to keep it. If something's super spiky, it's got like, a 25 or a 30 in a slot, I'm going to keep it, because I'm like, hey, at least I can throw you in here and have D2 armor picker tell me where this might fit. But there was nothing that was worth keeping. Like to sit and do this legitimately, the reward is absolutely not there. That's the only reason why, like, GMs are the only, like, true, like, end game non-raid activity I even consider doing, unless there is a cheese or a bug or an exploit, because the reward is just not there for doing it. It's like, oh, you've done this, congratulations. You get absolutely nothing out of this you care about or want to use.
Yeah, and that's why I was so upset, because that was an actual roll. I got 30 mobility and 20 intellect.
Yeah, but I mean, at least you're a hunter. Like, mobility means something to you. I get high mobility rolls on my Titan. I'm going, this is absolute garbage. Why would I ever use this?
Not in this season, dude. I just need 70, and I have 100.
Well, right. Yeah, but I mean, at least that could be considered a good hunter role. Like not for now, but at least
not the intellect part, but yeah, okay, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. I mean, to have 30 on a single piece, and then you could have 40 mobility from that armor piece alone if you masterwork it. So I mean, like if you're doing a build like that, could at least give you some piece of it. But yeah, but it's not worth it. And as far as like the shard farm, like obviously I saw that, I was like they're going to patch this as soon as they're able to.
Yeah.
I also wonder a little bit, because we're in a world, and again, this is not to let Bungie off the hook, because Bungie has always done this. They've patched the things we've enjoyed. They've patched the exploits, remembering all the way back to when you could pick up the delirium, 100% delirium, 1000% delirium.
Yeah.
The ritual weapon from the Drifter. That Nitedemon one day sent me a message and was like, hey, if you have this to pick up, you can pick it up and dismantle it, and pick it up and dismantle it infinitely, and just get shards of materials for it. So I did that a whole bunch of times, and they patched it very quickly. I'm almost wondering if, since we're in a world where we're playing with people on PC now, because hey, here's a shard farm, great. It's not a great thing for Bungie just to begin with, and here's the macro to set it up on your PC to do AFK. I wonder if that's part of when they're like, listen, if you as a player want to sit here, pick up, dismantle, you're still investing the time to sit there and do that on your controller. Not great, but fine. There's a finite number of these you're going to be able to do if you're sitting here actively engaging. If I can set up a macro and walk away to do it AFK, I almost wonder if that's
awesome,
raises,
dude.
Right, but I wonder if that raises the priority of, because that's a thing you can do, because we're in a world where people are playing on PC, if that makes the need to fix it, if they're going, no, we need to do this because we can't have people walking around with 2 million shards, because it's going to break the economy. Now, is it a problem for the player? No, absolutely not. Is it a problem from Bungie's perspective?
The economy is short right now. Astacross the other day, you saw it was like, the other day I was down to 30 legendary shards. Astacross, dude. Dude, last time I checked, like 30,000 legendary shards, It's just, shards are hard to come by, my dude.
Content. But yeah, to put it in perspective, I actually did sit down for, I think, about an hour and do that just before reset. And I think I only generated about 2,000 shards. And it was a lot of effort. It was like, go and pick up pick
up 9 of these marks. Or 8 of these marks, you dismantle them, do it again, dismantle. Yeah, again, like if you're sitting and putting in the effort, again, like if you're going to sit there at the game and do the control and do the exploit, I mean, in my head, it's like, fine. Yeah, you're going to get some out of that, but it's going to only, what's 2,000 in the scheme of things? Not really anything. If you're able to sit here and set up a macro and walk away and have 20,000 or, whatever in that same time frame, or, in that 6 hours it was available, you're able to get however many tens of thousands.
Right.
It's more of an exploitable exploit, because, hey, here's the auto hotkey thing to set up and let this macro run and set and forget it. Again, I wish Bungie would be less quick to fix these things. And again, because they're exploits, there's simple things they can do. Oh, let's just disable this thing. Like, they're easy fixes too. Like, that's part of the thing, is it's oftentimes an easy fix to fix this thing that we're enjoying. The pushing the guy off the ledge, that was going to require them to put a fix into the game, but that activity is also on a rotation. So they're like, at the end of the day, there's a finite end to when this, people can do this. Like the shard farm, it's like, we need to do something about this now, because you can do this forever until we take action.
Right.
So I don't know. I just, again, I wish they wouldn't be so quick to fix these things, but I also just wonder if, because we're in the world of PCs, and they've already, they've said more than once, we hate, we don't want you to AFK farm. We want you to play the game. And because that's the thing you can do.
Again, why don't you fix the damn bugs that we hate in the game, right?
Well, I mean, they're working on. I mean, we just got a big giant patch. They're working on lots of this stuff, and that's the thing. It's like, again, simple things to fix. Hey, let's dismantle this, or let's stop people from picking up this cloak. Harder things to fix. The physics interaction between characters and the main cannons and the thing. Like, I'm sure they're working on. It would be nice. It would be nice if we sort of knew what they were working on.
I doubt it, because look at some of the old raids. Look at Kingsfall. Look at the Garden of Salvation. They're just still buggy as hell too. Every single raid is buggy, dude. Different things do different. There's different bugs in different raids, but every raid is going to be buggy, just flat out.
Well, yeah. Well, there's bugs in everything's gonna be buggy. It's software. Software's buggy.
Well, I mean, they don't take as much. They don't weight those bugs as much as they weight something that would benefit the player. Now, this exploit, I get what you're saying. This is an economy exploit. Okay, fine, right? Let's submit it's an economy exploit. That's why they kinked it, right? But farming a master dungeon to get artifice armor, they didn't have to fix that at all, ever. Just know that when that rotation comes up in another 4 or 5 weeks, you can farm that artifice armor. Not that big a deal. As a matter of fact, you might encourage people to come play that activity because they know they can farm that activity. They're going to be playing that activity instead of going somewhere else and doing something else on a different game. They didn't have to fix that, but they did. They weight things that benefit us heavier than the things that don't. And that, bar none, is my biggest gripe with Bungie.
What I'd actually like to see for the dungeons is what you kind of get at the end of the raid, where you get that flag in the ground and you get to choose what you want from that list. So if you've unlocked it in that raid, you get to choose using your spoils. But I'd like to see that in the master dungeons. After every encounter, you can go to the flag and you can go, right, from this encounter, because there's only certain things.
Not every encounter. That would be too much. Maybe flag at the end of the dungeon.
No, from every encounter, I think, because every encounter has different things that you can pick up. So it has different set of weapons and different set of armor. You can go to that flag and you can go, right, I've earned this previously, but I would like to get this. And then you click on that and you go, right, I want one of these as my reward, because giving you a choice of what you can get rather than getting frustrated that you're not getting like the armor that you want the artifice armor. So it'll give you a chance, a guaranteed chance that if you pick the artifice armor, like say that first encounter was helmets, I believe, you could get helmets. Or you could get the fusion rifle, and you get the choice. So you actually get to pick what thing you want. So if you are trying to get the red bordered weapons, you get a chance at doing that. If you just want to do the artifice armor, you get a chance at just picking that, and it's guaranteed to be a high stat roll, and it's you get to choose. I think Bungie should implement this going forward with the new dungeon that we've got next season, and then future raids and dungeons. I think if you're doing a master version, there should be more choice for you to actually get the reward you want and the high stat reward.
Like the raid does too? Well, the raid, you have to have a currency to do that, right? You have raid spoils. So
that's your reward at the end, that you get to go, right, I've gone through this whole raid, I've collected all my rewards, and now I've got to the end and I go, right, I want to see if I can get another roll at this, or I want to get something of this.
Sure.
This is, there's a flag, it says you get a choice of, this is what's available at this encounter, you get a choice, weapon or armor piece. If you choose armor piece, it's guaranteed to be a high stat roll, and it's guaranteed, to be that item that you want. You get a choice rather than just go, it's random. I think going forward, there should be more, you get what you want. We can't guarantee you the roll. You can try and influence the roll with your ghosts and things like that. But, or like the weapons and things. I think that's what it needs to be going forward.
I would like that too. I mean, at the end of any master level activity or raid, they should have that option. Yeah. Now, the part where I disagree is it shouldn't happen after every encounter. I think just like a raid, you get to the end and you can pick, because you're going to get drops out of every chest on the way anyway, right? Might not be what you want, but you're going to get drops. At the very end, that is your one opportunity at the end for making it that far to pick what you want. I think that's more reasonable in the eyes of Bungie and the player base than at the end of every encounter, you get to pick what you want. That's asking a little much. Even raids don't do that. But I do agree with you. At the end of any master level content, there should be a chest that you can open up and get to pick what you want, including trials in that instance, right? Because trials, when you go there, you get a chance at an adept weapon, but if you have, let's say, trials currency or trials engrams or whatever, or engrams and legendary shards, you should be able to pick one item out of there. Hey, I didn't get the roll I wanted on this immortal. I'm going to go to the chest. I'm going to pick another immortal adept to see if I can get a better roll on it. I think that should be a thing for trials as well. So at the end of any master level activity, they should have that mechanic. The fact that it's only in the raid is weird, I think. I think you're onto something, and I think they should do that. And I think that would make every part of the player base, PvP, PvE, doesn't matter, a little happier to do some of the end level content. I think.
Well, I've got some good news for you because you can go to Saint 14 right now, and if you have the Adept weapon from this week from the Lighthouse, you can go and pick up additional versions from Saint 14 and say, "Give me this same Adept weapon," or "Give me this other Trials weapon" over and over again.
Oh,
so it's sort of there for Trials. But they just added this. Bungie has heard you and implemented this. What I would like to see, because there's nothing, again, if I'm going to farm a master activity, and I get a helmet, and then I get a helmet, and then I get a helmet. You know what I'd like to get? Something besides the helmet, maybe. Yeah. So, just sort of find like a happy medium between the give me a choice every chest. At the end of the activity, because I think the end chests are those is that the entire loot pool? And if not, Bungie, make it the entire loot pool. Any weapon and armor that can come from this activity, make it available in that final chest. Then when I get there, let me pick, hey, here's the thing I want, or at least, give me the option of what I've already gotten. On my way to that, as I'm beating the other bosses, give me something that I have not received. At least let me unlock it in collections. At least let me get the helmet and then let me work my way through and at least have all of these available to me. Maybe they're not the best roll, maybe they're not whatever. At least let me unlock it so I have it. So then I can go back and replay. Then I can get to that final chest or whatever, or use my currency and get more of these rolls. If I'm trying to get a decent, pair of arms, let me go farm those pair of arms once they're unlocked versus, well, first I have to try to unlock the things, which could be now or it could be sometime next year when you finally drop me a pair of arms that you just refuse to hand me. Because there's nothing more infuriating than, we were farming the Artifice armor and it was like helmet, weapon, helmet. It's like, guys, there's 4 other armor pieces. You could give me, any one of these would be fine, as opposed to 4 garbage helmets. Again, if I'm doing this, activity legitimately, and I'm spending the time and the hours to do this, giving me the same garbage roll over and over again is, the garbage roll notwithstanding, the same exact garbage roll is even more infuriating.
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad, yeah. I was shaking Ryan through Ron, and Ryan's like, cool, I got a butt cape, right? And then we go to the secret chest, which is a repeat chest, right? And he goes, man, they gave me another butt cape. This game sucks. I hate Bungie. I'm like, dude, it's a repeat chest. If all you've got is a butt cape, you got to get the butt cape, right? So then we go to the next encounter, and I forgot what he gets, but he wasn't happy about it. And then we go to the repeat chest, and he got, are you ready? Another butt cape. And then we get to the boss, and we know the boss can drop anything. So we get to the boss, we kill the boss, and the boss drops him. Are you ready?
Butt cape.
Another butt cape. He got 4. See that? 4 butt capes in one run.
That is exactly the experience. Like again, the repeat chest, I understand. Fine. Repeat chest, I have to have it unlocked. So let me unlock things to have options, not just here is the same helmet, here is the same butt cape, here is the same bond, here's the same arms I'm getting every single time.
Right. Oh, that was so funny. He was real mad too. And right after that, he was bugging me to go to Vogue because he ain't done Vogue since D1. And we go to Vogue and he gets the Vex on the first run. No, I'm just like,
as penance for the butt capes.
It's ridiculous. Anyway.
Oh, that's
what do we have left? Missed or resolved issues? Is that what we are?
No, we have other important changes. They added the capability to upgrade your Root of Nightmare Adept weapons with enhanced traits.
Well, so
let me tell you how that works.
I was going to say,
that's misleading.
That there's an issue.
Super great, super perfect, super wonderful. No issues. 10 out of 10.
Respawn for issues.
No.
All right. So, for example, here I have a Ruthless Fury Adept right here. Right. You can see there's this 4th slot. So the slot we usually get, like on a red border weapon, there's that 4th slot, and you go to the 4th slot and you get the red border progress. Well, Adept weapons have a 4th slot, right? And it's called an enhancement socket. And what happens is you can choose to spend 12 Spoils of Conquest, 5,000 Glimmer, 26 Legendary Shards, and 20 enhancement cores. 20 enhancement cores, right?
It's a lot of cores you got there, sir.
To masterwork and enhance this weapon. But the enhancement is the tricky part. So when you enhance it, it's going to give you a stability masterwork, right? So it gives you a masterwork based on what you've already got. So you can't choose your masterwork, right? It's also going to let you choose your first two perks, right? So the barrel and the magazine, you can choose that out of the whole list, right? Kind of cool. The second two perks, arguably the most important ones, you don't get to pick. It is these two perks you've already got, in my case, Pugilist and Paracausal Affinity, and I can just choose to enhance these two perks. That's all you can do. So you can't change these. You can only enhance these. You can't change your masterwork. And the only thing you can change is your barrel and your magazine perk. So if I'm spending 20 enhancement cores, amongst other things, I think that I should be able to choose all of these perks and not just the first two. You know what I mean? Or at least unlock it so I can take it to the Forge on whatever the hell that is now, and then forge it like I forge everything else.
Right.
You know?
Well, but Bungie, this is exactly what Bungie said. These are not fully craftable weapons. They're saying you can take the roll you got and improve the roll by enhancing the perks, but you can't fully craft it. Like, I mean, this is, to be fair, exactly what they said they were going to deliver. In the future,
it's expensive as hell, dude. 12 spoils of conquest and 20 enhancement cores. That's incredibly expensive. 12 enhancement cores, that's 2.5 activities you got to run.
Well, I mean, you have adept raid weapons. You probably run an activity or two. I mean, I'm not arguing with you that it's expensive. like you're not wrong. It's expensive, but also like how many of these weapons are you taking? How many Root of Nightmare adept weapons are you enhancing?
Just the one roll if you get it. But here's the thing: I've spent 300
one roll. You're good then.
300 spoils to try to get a better roll, and yet out of 300 spoils, it's 25 per reroll. For an adept weapon, by the way, it's 20 to reroll a normal weapon, 25 spoils to reroll an adept. So 25, so that's 12 weapons I got, right? Out of 300 spoils, and the best roll I could get was Pugilist and Paracausal. I got none with Reconstruction. I got none with Rewind. None of that. 300 spoils. I'm salty about it, yes, because in order to even access the ability to re-roll an adept weapon, you have to beat the raid on hard, right? Because even if you beat the raid and you have adept weapons, when you go to Rufus's glaive to purchase, you cannot re-roll an adept on normal mode. You have to beat normal mode, and you have to re-roll on hard mode. And even then, that's if somebody, like what happened to me before, doesn't pull you to orbit first.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is it's not worth my time to go raiding, so I shouldn't waste my time raiding and just enjoy the weapons I have.
No, it's absolutely.
That's all I'm hearing now.
Weapons are amazing, dude. And with these weapons, I love this raid's weapons because of the harmonic resonance perk. Because harmonic resonance, the more of these weapons you put on, the stronger the weapons get. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So by having 3 weapons, I've increased the power of all my equipped weapons because I have 3 weapons with harmonic resonance on them.
But what if I just have 6 butt capes instead? Does that work the same way?
That's not going to help much.
Can I wear them as pants? Can I put them on for arms instead? And
this raid's armor is horrific anyway. I don't know if you've taken the time to look at it, but the Warlock has 3 arms on the same side.
Uh-huh. And it's good times.
What's wrong with that? My OCD goes nuts whenever I see a Warlock wearing this armor, dude. I hate that armor. If you're going to give them 4 arms, put 2 on each side. Why do you have to put 3 on one side, Bungie? Why do you have to do that? And they're not even functioning arms. Their arms are holding these potion-like teardrop things. They don't even do anything. They're just there.
Okay,
whatever.
Sorry. I didn't design it. Don't get excited about it.
Oh, I'm very flustered, man.
But Respawn, don't worry. You can once again collect your exotic glaive pattern from the evidence board, which has been bugged since the beginning of time. So see, there was a long-standing bug that Bungie fixed.
Can you now? I don't know if you can. I haven't tried it yet.
I mean, they certainly say you can. I don't care about exotic glaives, but they say they finally fixed it. And also, there's a best dress commendation, if you hadn't noticed.
Yes.
which I have gotten a lot of those, which I don't know if I should be happy or sad about, but I'm choosing to be happy about it because why not?
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool until Demon said it was way the least. I'm like, you suck.
No, I just used that on Noble because Noble upset me because I'd upset him first. So I just got back at him and said, right, that's it. You're getting best dressed. That's it. At the end, you're not getting anything else. You weren't helpful. You weren't fun. You're just getting best dressed.
You just look good doing it. See, the game is made up and the points don't matter. As long as I'm getting points and calling it a win.
Anything, you know that, right?
To be happy, I'm honestly just glad I have a third commendation to hand out. Because if I'm playing sixes in PvP, I just want to hand out commendations. Because everyone's trying to get the stupid things to do their rank or get their drops or whatever. I just want to give them more commendations. If I'm playing Gambit, I have one to give all three of my teammates, and that makes me happy. Now I don't have to go. You get one, and screw you. You get nothing. That's that, and nobody wants that.
Hold on, I'm currently 10. What do I need for 11? Do I even need that stuff?
You do. Bungie also wants to tell us all about the accessibility changes that we've already gone over. So
there's no point because Respawn has told us that and told us how it's going to improve his gameplay. He's going to be able to shoot things in the face right now.
Well, I don't know what improving gameplay, but it sure would help me see things. That's for sure.
Respawn, do you love your Arbalest? Do you use it every day? Do you look at it lovingly?
Did you forget that we'd already voted on this and this was coming in the game? Yes, you did.
Yeah, right. Like, have you been just sitting here going, I really wish I had this beautiful Arbalest ornament to put on, because in season 21, it's finally coming. The one that we voted on a million years ago, that Stellar State Logic design. That's beautiful and pink and purple and 80s neon color. Yeah, you'll be able to acquire it in the Eververse store.
I do like that color.
You definitely use every single day.
Now, Arbalest is an amazing gun. Hands down, the best anti-barrier gun, full stop. And also, instead of using a sniper, this is an amazing gun too. However,
not the best. I'll give you second best at best.
What's better than Arbalest for shield piercing?
Wishender.
Ooh.
Shoots forever, unlimited ammo, makes a nice sound.
It doesn't do as much damage as the Arbalest, and doesn't shoot as fast as the Arbalest either. The other points I'll give you: unlimited ammo, absolutely, yes.
But I can shoot it forever.
You can.
And also, the Arbalest is dumb, and I've never used it. And this is the hill I'm going to die on. It's a stupid hill, but I'm right here.
It's contrary to what Peroty says, it's an amazing weapon. But again, it does use special ammo, which is detriment, especially in end-level activity, when special ammo is hard to come by, right? So, but yeah. Now that we get to vote again, guys, on another set of weapons. Yay! First of all, I'm excluding the Izanagi's Burden because it already has the best ornament you can get in the game. Full stop. So that one's automatically out. We don't need to know.
I don't think you can, because I'm sure there was somebody in our chat that said that if you all vote for the Izanagi's Burden, he will personally take you through a raid.
Don't care. Izanagi's Burden already has the best ornament, dude.
I don't remember who it was now.
I've also forgotten the Izanagi's Burden even existed in the game. It sure does, but yeah.
It's a thing.
It is definitely a thing. And I'll tell you which one it is.
So are we all in agreement that it's got to be the Thunderlord?
It has to be. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta be the Thunderlord.
We can be in agreement, but some of us have already voted because the email came out the same day the TWAB did, and some of us saw a certain weapon in there and had to hit the button before he even really thought about it because it's his favorite weapon.
Pick?
Now, is it again based on, like we've gone before? Is it picture based? So if you accidentally click on the wrong picture, you are voting for that picture. Okay, just checking.
Soul Shaper is the best ornament. Dimwee, you are banned from the chat forever.
You're going to need to click on the picture you want. Now, I will admit this is not the greatest ornament. Like, it looks pretty plain for my beloved Wither Horde, but I have to give the Wither Horde the love that it's due.
Wither Horde already has a bunch of really good ones, though, man.
Well, now hopefully it'll get another one.
So, do you actually get to see them?
Yeah, I was going to say, have we seen it? Because, like the other ones we got to see beforehand, right? What it was going to look like.
Or, no, I think wasn't it last time that we voted for the weapon? Then once we voted for the weapon, they went, oh, now you can pick from X amount of designs for this weapon?
You got me second guessing myself. I thought we could see what it looked like before we picked, but maybe you're right.
Once one of the above exotics has been selected, we will work with the chosen community artist to create 3 different weapon ornament concepts that we have another vote for that you can pick. There you go. So they're going to do exactly the same as they did last time.
Yeah, the email does say, "Stay tuned for a vote, stay tuned to vote for which concept we'll be creating game."
So you vote for your weapon now, and then you vote for your ornament. The next time this comes around, it goes, "Oh, by the way, you remember that weapon that you selected like 3 months ago? We've now got around to designing some stuff. Here's the 3 designs. Pick one of those. In about a year's time, you'll see that." I'm not joking, because let's face it,
that's why it's funny, man. I don't understand how Bungie
sure it must have been just before October last year, because it was before Festival of the Lost. I'm sure we were talking about it. But anyway,
you can pre-order a Samsung phone that's not even out yet, and get that phone before you get a raid jacket from Bungie. It's ridiculous, dude. How does a company run like that? Oh, you want this pin? You want this jacket? You want this beanie? You want this stuffed animal? Buy it now, and we'll send it to you a year and a half from now when you've completely forgotten about it.
How many people actually want it before we start making them, and we make a limited amount of them, then we ship them out. That's it. Get used to it. You've been in this ecosystem for a long time. Just get used to it.
No. You need to have some pre-mades.
No, bruh.
There should be bruh. There should be pre-mades out there that way you can send them out to some customers.
No, Bungie say
no, you shouldn't.
The process is starting on April 20th. The community will vote through emails on which exotic. The community artists create 3 ornaments, and then we get to vote on that. And then the winning weapon ornament goes into production and is released in game again 6 to 9 to 12 months later.
Thunderlord it is. I'm voting Thunderlord.
No.
Well, did you already? You should have voted like 2 days ago.
No, I haven't checked my email.
However, if you're not getting the emails from Bungie, then you can't vote. So those of us who got the email and instantly clicked on Witherhoard are going to win because we both got the emails and voted.
Instantly clicked Witherhoard.
I've told you my email blocker gets rid of those. Right. Anything from Bungie, I don't get to see.
Right. That's why I didn't ask you what you had voted for, because I knew you couldn't. But if
you know you can make rules for your email blocker, right, Demon?
Sorry.
Well, the email blocker has a name. It's called Deacon. she's a little less configurable than certain spam clients.
Is it really Deacon deleting the emails?
Yes.
You're being serious?
Yes.
Oh goodness! Make a new email that's just for you. Some just random Gmail related to, or use the show's email for Bungie related stuff, dude.
I might have to start doing that.
It really is a treat for Respawn to learn new things each week. It's just a wonder to behold.
Look, man, y'all keep making fun of me. I told you guys I have legit brain damage that prevents short-term memory to becoming long-term memory. All right,
right. Which is why we're gonna keep making fun of you, because you won't remember that either. It's a perfect storm. I mean, no, this is the first time we've ever made fun of you. There's no evidence to the contrary.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm disappointed in with Bungie this week is that they go through the steps of saying last week of Iron Banner ahead. For everybody who hasn't gilded their Iron Banner title and seal, then this is your last chance this season to get that done. But they don't remind you that this is the last week you can get a Hero's Burden, that submachine gun that everybody loves, and that comes with some volatile rounds. That's really cool.
Hero's Burden, I think you mispronounced Immortal.
No, Hero's Burden.
No,
Void Adaptive Frame.
Iron Banner and Trials are different.
Yes.
But if you have...
I know it's just 2 Titans that you see, but they're different Titans. They're different people.
One's pink and one isn't pink. So this is your last week to get a Hero's Burden, submachine gun, adaptive frame, 900 RPM, void, if I remember correctly, and a Wizen Rebuke, which is an arc, I think, high impact frame fusion rifle.
Yes, it is.
And they're pretty good. They are pretty good ones.
It can roll with Volt Shot.
It can. And
I was told Volt Shot is the worst roll to get on that. What you want, and this comes from Micah and another YouTuber that he pointed out to me, is you want the one that fires further when firing from the hip. What's that called? Offhand grip, I think.
I always dismantle offhand grip ones.
No, he said that's the god roll. He says people are getting mapped by offhand grip.
I get mapped without offhand grip. I get mapped with anything.
I just dismantle Wise and Rebukes, so.
But no, apparently it's. I can't remember the second perk, but if you see offhand, boom, that's you're halfway there. Let me check Light GG and see if it'll spark my memory.
So if I have a whole bunch of Iron Banner tokens, I need to hand the nice Iron Banner man before he leaves.
You do because they get reset as well. Thank you for reminding me, Peroty. Well, thank you for reminding everybody else.
Yeah, so this is my week where I should say, hey, I want a bunch of Heroes Burdens, or I want a bunch of something. Even if you're just, handing him tokens as infusion fuel, pick up your tokens, turn them into something, and either keep them, trash them. I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life, but if you played enough to actually reset your rank or do any of this, or if you care, you've got currency to create. Since you can't get your infinite shard farm, at least you can turn these into Iron Banner somethings and then dismantle those and get some shards.
Yeah, because go to the nice man, because if you're like me, I think I've got like about 50 engrams just sitting there because I've got everything. I don't need anything, but obviously need to go and speak to the man next week.
Yeah, so I was looking to see. I've lost him now in our list of vendors. Yeah, because I know it's been. I've picked up none from the last 2 Iron Banners, so I know I have a pile sitting there. I just need to eventually go do something with them.
Yes.
Oh, that's what it was. Offhand strike and the one with the trigger. Successful warm up. That's the god roll for the Wise and Rebuke. So offhand strike, successful warm up will map anybody like in Crucible. Yep.
So Respawn and his alter ego Micah have said so. That's what you need to get. That's what we're going to get. So
it's funny how neither one of those are even considered in Light GG. Light GG is going with the whole under pressure high impact because that'll guarantee a kill, sure. Yeah. But like offhand successful will guarantee a kill from across the map. So whatever.
If it doesn't cross map, I'm coming for you. You know this, don't you?
Yeah, well, I'm
coming across an ocean for you.
Sure, go ahead.
I like to specify which map does it go across, because there's a little bit of variation.
All of the maps, except the new one. That one's a little bit of a stretch.
Oh dear.
Some of those maps are awfully long to cross. You may need to run across an entire ocean or swamp to get there.
But to do that though, we need some player support report.
Mm-hmm. And good luck, because this one goes to 11. There's a notice about weapon crafting, guys. If you're going to the relic on Mars and you're crafting a weapon, while you take the weapon and you set it onto the relic and say, I need to recraft this, don't also enhance the weapon while you're doing that, because the game is going to lose an enhancement tier. So craft or enhance, but don't do both at the same time.
Okay, so I can't go there, craft a new weapon, and then go back to that menu and then do an upgrade.
You can do that. You just can't do it while the weapon is on the table. So when you select a weapon reshape, they basically make a copy of that weapon from your inventory. So it's basically saying, like, I'm taking this weapon, let me copy it, put it on the table. If you then, while you're in the reshaping menu, make changes to that base weapon, that change is not going to be in the weapon you are crafting. Those changes get lost forever. So enhance or reshape, but don't do both at the same time. They do say they're working on a fix for this, but so just don't change your enhancements here while you're crafting the weapon. Before or after is just fine, just not during. Don't do it. Do it one at a time. If you, like me, experienced audio issues in the game last week, where you were sitting here playing with Nitedemon and Noble, and we're hearing them perfectly fine through the game chat, but all of the audio in the game was garbled and garbage sounding, and you're going, is this like some sort of MP3 from like 1992 I downloaded from Napster? What is going on? There are audio issues in the game. The specific one they're going to tell us about is apparently if you're using 3D audio, you're experiencing less than ideal sounds and speech. Pretty sure if you're using 2D audio, you're also experiencing less than ideal sounds and speech. It is recommended if you're using 3D audio to disable it, such as the native 3D audio on the PS5 or the Atmos/Windows Sonic on PC and Xbox. So I don't know what my audio settings are, but for that day where I was running with you, Nitedemon, just all of the in-game audio was just like, it sounded, just terribly distorted. So if you're also experiencing that, it was after the patch. It's a remnant of the patch. You're not going crazy. Your audio is just acting up. And there's a bunch more patch notes. We're not going to go over the full patch because most of it is weapon tuning and things like that. There were a bunch of things that were missed from the original patch notes, which is what I sent to Nitedemon and Respawn earlier in the week. And also I did see Bungie did add both to the list of actual patch notes in the patch and the addendum section at the bottom, but they still missed one. So now I'm wondering, did you not actually patch this, or did you actually just miss it entirely? But they did fix an issue where the terminal overload chest could be looted multiple times for rewards and crafted weapon progress. Bungie, you didn't need to fix it. It's fine. Fine. Your crafting progress now comes from the key chest and not the base chest. So if you're running back and forth to get the chest multiple times, don't, because it's just not worth it. When the mods Ashes to Ashes and Hands On are equipped at the same time, you're only going to receive super energy from one of the mods when killing an enemy with a grapple melee. When these mods are equipped individually, each will work with the grapple melee. Your grenade kickstart will no longer activate when using a grapple point. So yeah, fixing all the good things here, Bungie. When the mods Firepower and Heavy-Handed are equipped at the same time, only one orb of power will spawn when killing an enemy with the grapple melee. When these mods are equipped individually, they'll work with the grapple melee. So they made a whole bunch of changes to how we interact with mods in the grapple melee that have made a lot of people very grumpy. Just like reducing the super gains from Ashes to Assets by 50% when getting a grapple melee kill after using a grapple point. You also no longer need to have the Strand subclass equipped to gain the Unraveling rounds for Strand weapons from the Allied Unraveling perk. Your heavy weapons will more consistently gain increased ammo capacity from multiple reserve mods. This does not apply to rocket launchers, grenade launchers, heavy glaives, Leviathan's Breath, or 1000 Voices, since their max ammo capacity is reached by equipping fewer mods. Basically, if you need less ammo to get there, they're not giving you more ammo, but you're already there. The Fighting Lion grenade launcher was incorrectly benefiting from the Void holster mod. It will not anymore. The Harsh Language grenade launcher will now correctly activate the Void artifact perks. And your fall damage is now theoretically non-lethal to players. Previously, only collision damage was non-lethal. And one patch that they did not add to this list or put in the actual patch notes is the Warlock Exotic Swarmers will now correctly create threadlings when a tangle is thrown and a player has shackle grenades equipped. Though I don't know if they fixed it and just didn't put it in the patch notes or the updated patch notes, or if they just decided they didn't fix that. So your guess is as good as mine, Warlocks. You get to find out. So that's what they fixed. There's also a much longer list of things they fixed, and if you want to read the links in the show notes, right down there next to the Discord link is where we have a link to all the show notes. If you want to say what guns did you also buff this week, and what else did you do with those things? What other changes should I be seeing? Yeah, it's all down there. But with all patches, Nitedemon, Respawn, come broken things. And there's some broken things.
Oh dear.
If you previously acquired the Brazen Spark ship from Amanda, you can't actually complete the Last Will and Testament quest, which involves picking up the Brazen Spark ship. So, Nitedemon, by the way, you get the ship from doing the quest after Amanda. You know, that happened. Your Shahan quest dialogue is cut off if a public event is triggered, preventing players from hearing any remaining lines.
Well, so
your volatile flow.
Surely the man is then, distracted by whatever's going on around him.
Probably.
Yeah.
And has important things to tell you, but you'll never know what they are. He has no time to explain because the Fallen are currently invading. Guess what? Volatile flow, it's not activating consistently. It doesn't want to. But the Cheerful Destruction Triumph doesn't grant you bonus progress for Guardian kills. The Insight Terminus Strike can produce bird errors when fighting the boss and capturing plates. So that's good times. As I mentioned earlier, audio may appear distorted in certain activities. Check the audio issue workaround, basically toggle your 3D audio on and off. Or just go, I can turn this audio down and listen to my friends. Who needs the game audio? It's unimportant. If you also were in the tower saying, didn't the Guardian Games statue, didn't someone last year win? And now it's a different thing. The statue is incorrectly displaying the winner for the 2022 event. Some Guardian Games triumphs are activating earlier than intended. So as a result, the tiles tab now flashes as though something is unlocked and nothing is unlocked.
Live in-game correction, that's been fixed. The Eagles are now highlighted now.
Oh, the Warlocks have gone back to winning?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the Guardian Games statue incorrectness has been corrected. Good job, Bungie. That was the thing we were almost worried about.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you've been running, things in Vanguard and all of a sudden getting medals for something, those are the Guardian Games medals that are dropping early. And the triumphs you're getting now for the Guardian Games, you should be able to collect in 2 weeks. So that insistent flashing that you have something to pick up that you can't pick up yet, you'll be able to claim in 2 weeks. We'll see.
Mm.
The zone control playlist doesn't display an increased Crucible rank modifier. Dying in the Hypernet Current Strikes boss room can sometimes get a player's ghost stuck on the floor, but sometimes not. So look on the bright side. Quitter penalties were erroneously enabled with the 705 launch for completing matches. This has since been corrected.
What? Hold on, what?
If you completed a match after the patch went live, you were getting a quitter penalty for it.
You got penalized for finishing the match. That's awesome.
Yep, you shouldn't have stayed the whole time. That's where you went wrong. But they've now actually fixed that one. So it was a known issue, and now it's a known fix. Rewards are delayed upon completing certain rating counters, like jackets, with some rewards going to the postmaster, and some rewards need to be manufactured in a factory and mailed to your house. So those may take a while. Some players report that Radiant no longer stuns barrier champions. So if you're trying to Radiantly stun a barrier champion, you may not. And your fire sprites may no longer generate from grenade kills. But they may. So, 50-50 shot. No real way to know. Because there was also a bug, and then it may be related to the because to fix the whole quitter penalty thing, they turned off quitter penalties entirely for a little bit. So people were using that to gain competitive rank and then quitting matches that they lost because they weren't getting the penalties and it wasn't bringing them back down in rank. So Nitedemon, we may have missed our shot to go Ascendant and then quit out before we could lose any points for it.
Yeah.
But that's all been patched now, so too little too late. But that's the full list of broken things they'll tell us about. Again, the known issues link is in the show notes, along with all the other goodies, as well as the 705 patch notes, which patched or unpatched many, many things. So yeah. And then there's movies and artwork that Respawn was watching and has many thoughts about warlocks looking deeply, lovingly into each other's eyes.
You're watching me.
Because I can see you.
You can see it.
Yeah, and that's the end of T Melon's first twop. And he says you should absolutely vote for the Izanagi's Burden because it's his favorite weapon. Not that he wants to sway us or anything.
Don't care.
And he hopes you have fun in the Iron Banner and get your rank reset.
Izanagi already has the greatest oh my god, what the hell is it called? Ornament.
You can do it. There you go. You got there. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Anybody who's ever played a Final Fantasy game, you can be Cloud in Destiny 2. That's amazing. Or Zack, if you prefer Zack.
What I'd really like to be is in front of some sort of video entertainment, some sort of YouTube that might be able to tell me how I've been playing this game more poorly or could do better. Have you watched any YouTube this week that's worth telling the people about?
Have I watched any YouTube? Of course, I've watched some YouTube, and I've now waited for it's the 4th week now that we've had the raid challenges. So we now have each raid challenge and a guide from Kimber Prime. So I've stuck to what Respawn asked. Stick to one person, get the guides, and that's it. So we are currently in week 4. So I believe that it is Nezarect, which is the current challenge. So next week we should be going back to the first challenge again. So there will be a guide in our show notes of how to do the first week's challenge, 2nd week, 3rd week, and 4th week from Kimber Prime. So that's something to look forward to.
I'll have to check it out to see if it was any different or easier from what we were doing. But what we did was actually pretty easy. And I would even consider doing that as the normal practice for hard mode. So, pretty good, man. Pretty good.
And then I have 3 videos from the one and only Destiny Fun Police. We have the Buffed, which is the Cerberus +1. And then we have the S tier, which is the Firefight, which I already spoke about. And then the one that he reckoned going to be meta soon, because if you haven't heard, Respawn's been on about it, about the Immortal being double nerfed. Is it the Out of Bounds that we had in the Crucible a couple of months back that was just kind of dropping forever?
Oh, yeah.
You could get millions of rolls with. Now, Destiny Fun Police reckons that this is going to be meta once, like, is it 750s are going to get nerfed. So he's got a video on the Out of Bounds and what roles you need to look out for. And again, takes it into trials, the one he's got. And I mean, it's Destiny Fun Police. He slays. He's good. He's amazing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, those are my.
Look how good this gun is, guys. Take the gun away. Give him just some blue machine gun.
You could give that man.
Look how good this gun is, guys.
He can still beat you with a stick.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
It has.
Like, you can't trust him, man, because like you give him a white weapon, he's gonna slay with it, dude.
Yep.
Who cares?
Yeah. Peroty, have you got any videos this week apart from the ones you've already mentioned?
You know, I was looking back, and most of what I watched were just like different build videos of hey, I need to redo some of these builds that I no longer have. So no, I just want to throw some love towards Mactics, MACTICS on YouTube, because he's honestly put together the Titan Strand build that I've been running all season, and has a bunch of other builds. So if sometimes you watch a Plunder the Booty build and you're like, this isn't quite hitting right, Mactics has done some good stuff. And I also saw that Plunder the Booty, let me see if I can, basically, if you go look at any of his recent builds, there is a site that looks like he and a number of other people of like, if you're sitting here going, listen, I don't need to watch your whole video. I just want to see the thing I was trying to do. I don't remember what mod I need to put on my head. There is, so MOBA, MOBA.lol, I guess is, some mobalytics site. I don't know who's behind it or who's doing this. But a bunch of different people, it looks like, are linking to that site. It looks like it's for more games than just Destiny. But if you, any of Plunder the Booty's recent videos, it'll have the link in the notes of the video to basically a really nice, one-page site of, here's all the weapons you can have, here's all the loadouts, here's how it works, with an explanation of the gameplay loop and how these pieces fit together. And it's really nice, or if you say, well, this strand build is nice. Oh, but I don't have that exotic. Or, hey, I missed the malfeasance when it was up. It links to a bunch of other content creators and their similar builds. So if you're like, maybe this isn't the one for me. Hey, here's a build that Dado put together. Here's a build that Mactics put together. Here's a build that, I'm just looking down this list here from his latest video. Here's a build that someone else put together. Oh, hey, I'm looking for a PvE build. Let me hop over there and see what, Hunter PvE build he has. So it seems to be a place where content creators are starting to put together different builds that they have in, put on the page and read it form versus, watch the whole video. I'm not saying don't watch the videos, but if you're just going to say, hey, this build didn't quite maybe hit me right, let me go see who else is out there and who else to put builds together. So it's this mobalytics site, which I'm starting to see linked more from some creators, but it's good times. I mean, Astrocross is on there, Dado, Mactics, Plunder the Booty, True Vanguard, a bunch of other folks have started putting builds together that way. So yeah, if you're looking at one going, I don't have that exotic, or I wasn't around for that season, just another way to go find good things to go slay out with. And honestly, I'm really enjoying the loadouts in game. It's so nice just to be able to slap a loadout into that spot.
That's been buggy too since their mid-season patch nonsense.
Oh, has it? I just enjoy again when I was running the one mission, I was like, let me put this loadout here. I don't need to save it forever and ever. Let me just slap it into this slot here for now, and then I can go back to it later. It's irritating though, because when you put it there, it just sort of gives it a name and an icon that makes no sense. But if you hop into Dim, I noticed Dim recently, I don't know, in the last update or two, you can go into Dim, and while you still can't fully edit those loadouts, you can change the icon and the name. So if your strand build for PvE has raid on it in game, you can go and say, no, this is my strand PvE build. You can actually go into it and change, the icon and the name of it, so you actually know what it actually is instead of whatever the game randomly assigned it to. So Respawn, do you have any videos for us this week of hunters doing incredible hunter things?
Kind of. There are 2 Lucky Pants builds out, depending on how you want to play it. One of them is by Kodiak. And the other one is by Mactics, who you were talking about earlier, actually. And yeah, it's just two different ways to build a Lucky Pants build. They show you the different weapons, different people to use weapons against. Like, for example, if you're doing an activity that's got a lot of taken, you want to run malfeasance with Lucky Pants, you're going to do nutty damage, right? So just things like that. What gun to use in given situations. And what they didn't mention in either video, which really bugs me, is Lucky Pants procs independently for each hand cannon on you, right? So let's say you have a kinetic hand cannon, which will proc Lucky Pants, and then you're running solar. You can have a solar hand cannon, which, let's say if your primary weapon runs out and you're trying to do like mad DPS on like a boss, for example, right? Your primary weapon runs out, you can swap to that secondary weapon. You're gonna get the damage on that secondary weapon as well, because Lucky Pants also procs on that second weapon. And people were like, no, you only get one debuff. It's like, no, you get both debuffs, dude. Trust me. And I even tested it on video to show them, like, look, see, you get the benefit for both hand cannons with Lucky Pants, not just the one, right?
So Lucky Pants are an exotic that's exclusive for the hunters, isn't it? That help with your hand cannons.
It is. For every consecutive shot you hit, the damage increases on that weapon. Also, while you have the hand cannon stowed, it loads the weapon for you one round at a time every few seconds, right?
So these builds that you're putting out there, or you're pointing us in the direction, are they just PvE builds or are they PvP builds?
PvE.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm looking for a PvP build.
I don't think Lucky Pants work in PvP.
Oh, they do.
They do? The damage buff works in PvP?
Probably not. Probably not that part of it, but the ready and swap speed and the reload.
Yeah, that does work. You get faster ready and swap speed, and then the weapon reloading. Yes, those will work in PvP, but the extra damage will not.
No.
And then Acid Cross. So everybody thinks that the Fighting Lion grenade launcher has been fixed. It has not. Okay. So for a while, I kept taking it into Grandmasters because it'll one-shot all the red bars. Even in Grandmasters, it does like 200k damage to a red bar, And for those of you that don't know, you're like, oh, it's just a red bar in Grandmasters. Red bars will still wipe you out, dude, and they still are bullet sponges in a Grandmaster, okay? So don't underestimate them just because their health bar is red. So the fact that you can one-shot them with the Fighting Lion is a huge buff, right? But Astagros took the Fighting Lion and he actually made a build around the Fighting Lion itself for PvE and I think PvP as well. And yeah, it just shows like the best way to use the Fighting Lion in a given situation. So check that out. It's called the most busted exotic in the game Fighting Lion build, Destiny 2 Lightfall. So yeah.
Will he also teach me how to actually hit things with the grenade and not shoot
it through the legs of
the enemies? Because that's really where I need the help.
Well, what you need is whenever you see that it's going through their legs, release the trigger so it detonates.
You're assuming
through the trigger down through the legs and let go. Through the legs and let go.
Yeah. This is not a weapon that you kind of. I mean, if you can direct impact, great. But this is more of a fire and detonate on your own kind of weapon. Yeah.
Explains so much why I go, I'm going to threaten you with this gun and I actually hurt you with it, though.
Yeah, and I've seen some crazy plays where somebody will go in and they'll intentionally bounce it off one or two walls to get to somebody that's around a corner and then detonate it there. I mean, people do nutty things with this gun.
I've seen them and I've had it done to me and I go, you clearly know what you're doing because I do not.
But yeah, that's all I got is 200 builds and an Astacross. I mean, I've watched a lot more, but nothing worth
podcast.
Nothing worth sharing. What about the podcast?
I said it sounds like a podcast.
What?
200 builds and an Astacross. But I think we do have to mention the French voice actor for Saint 14 has sadly passed away. His name was Sylvain Lemaire. I hope that I'm pronouncing his name correctly. And I saw a lot of people got really confused about this, like saying, we thought that Saint was Russian. And then a lot of other people were like, no, this is the French actor that voiced him for the French version of Destiny. It's like,
there's multiple voice actors for all of these characters.
You don't just hear
Destiny
that one
exists
in
in
your
other
head.
countries, guys. There's German actors and Spanish actors and probably Egyptian actors,
Portuguese actors. That's why sometimes you'll see a
Australian actors.
Yeah, like during the pandemic, during the height of the pandemic, I should say, you were seeing notes about, hey, like we couldn't get the Portuguese Ikora Ray, and she's been replaced with this other person for the time being.
Yeah. So yeah, sad news.
I think we've come to the end of our show.
I think we have. Yes.
Is there anything else?
I'm just glad.
No, I'm good.
We've got through most of the podcast without those. So yeah.
Yeah, hey, flavor and texture. Well, this is where I say thank you for
joining really us. Good, but in there earlier. Well, that one, yeah, that was well placed. Yeah,
all for you. And really, I mean, I have the button now. I can deploy when you go looking for links, which is just perfection. I mean, really, I think with about 4 or 5 sounds, Night Demon's job could be even easier or more challenging. We'll see.
Oh, you've actually uploaded those to everybody, dude. Not just you. See?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. I did not know that.
Yeah, I can see what you upload. That's pretty cool.
Oh. That's fancy. Okay. That's good to know. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Discord has new tools and toys that we are now totally distracted by. Well, I want to go play with my new toys. My team wants to play with his new toy, and Respawn has a computer to put back together. So, thank you for joining us. This has been Destiny 2 and Tech Talk. Your Titans are Peroty and Night Demon. Your Hunter, as if you could ever forget, is no one Respawn in real life. Your kilted lore master is not ARF and not here. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. We're everywhere. And as we've said here, as we've said there, as everybody has said everywhere, just type in 2 Titans and a Hunter into YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, any search box on the internet. You'll find us. Our SEO is top notch. You can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on YouTube for each new episode, weekly update video, and all the live streams. 2titansandahunter.com will get you to where you need to be. And if you'd like to join the Otter Dance Troupe, have you seen our incredible Otter Dance Troupe led by the T-Rex King, Dedicated Away M64, and the Scarlet KM, and BHS Nightcrawler? Have you seen them dancing? They are incredible dancers. You have never seen finer dancers in your entire life. Have you seen the man you cannot threaten with a good time, Zep Orbit? We tried to threaten him. We have tried, people. He can't be threatened. It's just impossible. Unfortunately, though, you're going to need to dance quicker and faster because Carver 2782, We Noble, Golden God 1562, Basically Salt, Zombie Pops, and Renard Calant, hopefully I'm not butchering your name, have joined our grenade throwing troupe, throwing all the grenades across all the people. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. And while Deacon does not approve of long videos or receiving email from Bungie, she does approve of PP Pipe, Lordmaster Chaos, Dimwee, The Drifters Driftwood, and Hate Quest. And if you would like to join our Otter Dance Troupe, try to have a threatening with a good time or any of these lovely things, you can head over to patreon.com/TTAH and join our wonderful patrons who make this show possible, give us the enjoyment, and give Respawn someone to beg to do raids with him that then just smite him and just ignore him every single time. So if you're looking for Patreon, patreon.com/TTAH. We appreciate you. You appreciate us. It's just a mutual appreciation society over here. If you'd like to buy the Night Demon Man a coffee, or any of us a coffee really, ko-fi.com/2titansandahunter. And if you would like the thrill of live action and spicy language, head over to twitch.tv/no-one-responds-in-real-life, where he will be being drugged through Iron Banner this week, kicking and screaming by Micah, and who knows who else. Or if you'd like to keep it family friendly, like a proper British gentleman, or if you're just over in the UK and go, I can't be up in the middle of the night when you Americans are streaming in the evening, head over to twitch.tv/2titansandahunter, and you should go to both those places and smash the subscribe buttons and the bells to say, hey, they're live. Night Demon will stream in the morning in the UK, Respawn will stream in the evening in the US, and random other times. I can't tell you when. It's a secret. Hit the buttons, and then you too will know all the things. And now, my friends, we've made it to the end of the show. Any closing words? Shax, Night Demon, Respawn?
I can't believe what I'm seeing!
I'm Panacea.
Yeah.
Yay!
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
Oh, I can't load the Respawn Titan song. It's too bad.
What's that?
I'm just looking through the list of Destiny MP3s that I have downloaded, and there's.
He's
there's
just
some good
lucky
stuff
that
in
I'm
there.
not actually on the laptop that's got all
There's
the audio
a
stuff
Respawn
at this point in time.
Titan song?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, yes, there is.
I disagree.
It exists, and I had totally forgotten about it.
Good, delete it. On that note, if I'm going to play something else, it's going to be a Titan, and I have said that multiple times. It's going to be a Titan, and I have said that multiple times. I have played on my Titan, and I have said that multiple times. Titan. Going to play something else, it's going to be a Titan, and I have said that multiple times. But if I'm going to jump characters, it's going to be Titan, and I have said that multiple times. Titan. And I don't mind giving up hunters Titans, because like I've said many times, if I swap off of my hunter to do something, it's going to be a Titan.